had to quickly fly out of his box area there to make sure that he keeps his team in check. It looks to be a very hefty start here that is being put on display by Benin. Center referee noticing an infringement there, so it's a very early free kick that's given to Guinea, playing with quite the urgency.
And what's also interesting is that these players are probably used to normal grass. Now they are playing in an artificial pitch, which means the bounce of the ball is different. You could see all the players couldn't get a hold of the ball as easy and as quickly as possible. But what's important is that we have a game on and there's a free kick that's taking place. This could be a start of a great tournament.
Chance from right outside the edge of the box area. Remember, we're playing full pitch. It's whipped in. Dealt with there by Traore. He's managing to here. It's a long ball. Out here trying to ensure that they can get some into this game. Nice dribbling skills there on display by Denon. Sets the ball up onto the wing, but the offside flag already coming out here to catch Eklo. He's out on the wing there, hoping to probably give his team the upper hand here. Giovanni Battista, Lide Eklo. Those midfielders that they will definitely be looking at as players in defender, but tonight in a more advanced position. We'll take it away, looking for a quick cross in. Feist in his team. Here coming in from Guinea. Quick throw, side off quick, Mara. Back here to the midfield. This is Junior. Spread out to the wing. Skills there. One in particular up front. It's a structured play from both sides here in the opening stages as they look to quickly come to grips. Can't really imagine what's going on with these youngsters. Yes, it's a game they love to play, but let's not forget the stakes are sky high, 15 years and below. The African continent is watching.
More than anything, they represent themselves, their families, and their countries, their schools as well, because that's where they start to play this beautiful game of football. You can see that Benin are now trying to get a hang of things. Guinea is saying to them, we'll absorb the pressure and try to catch you on the counter, so watch the space behind that is Benin, because once Guinea gets into those areas, it can be really dangerous.
Asane Sako earlier on there with an attempt to make a clean break for it. It was an infringement here cited by Tanzanian referee Habiba. Those really exciting projects that's currently underway or entangled or wrapped up in this particular tournament. Do have the referees, the young reporters as well that are being grouped up in here. It's interesting that these referees have actually also had to progressively find their way into this tournament. Fast cross, arguably there coming in from Guinea, but straight to the waiting hands of the goalkeeper here, Fatulu. And now looking to make a break. Instant, incisive, clean plans, trying to figure out motion in the midfield. There's the midfield breaking down the play here. Looked like a promising sequel, but only goes down here for nothing more than a free kick. That will be taken now by Guinea. David Diallo actually lets it roll, so it will be Mohamed Sako to take this one. Attempts to go for the spectacular. Well, goalkeeper might want to keep himself a bit in check. You don't want to get to showboating this early and find yourself on the back foot.
At this age, if you look at the types of players there, coordination and agility is the key points that help you become a much better player. And I think for the goalkeepers, agility is very important in the footwork. You don't jump higher than the ball when it's unnecessary. Otherwise, you'll do a what we call a mumish in my language, you know?
The ball headed back to the goalkeeper now. Fatulu will pick that with ease. Mark Fatolu have to get the game restarted. Benin starting on the front foot, but now finding themselves consistently pegged back here by Guinea. That's another wave of attack here coming up for the youngsters, but they managed to, well, get themselves some breathing space as the ball is cut away, and now on the break. That's clumsy play. And in the end, the ball not finding its way to the final third. Switch up in play, quickly trying to turn defense into attack, but that breaks down, whittles away. The question is, was that trying for a free kick? Referee deems it only worthy of a throw.
I'm actually fascinated by the speed that these two teams are playing at, and I think it's also amounted to the 20 minutes each half, because you don't have the full 45 minutes like the normal game that you get to see in a football match.
Literally hit the ground running should be the instruction.
From the bus, you in there, warm up, everything, just keep running. They are young, they have the energy.
Well, now they look to bomb forward once again. This could be a brilliant opening here. Sidestepping the ball, well, very unselfish. Still had space to go forward, but opting to play with the team. The ball is thwarted back, and now they'll have to build from deep once again. Toure, Suleimani Toure. From goalkeeper to goalkeeper. Mark Fatolu. Look to start this one off again. 6 minutes we've played. Well, that gives you little under, to be precise, 13 minutes left to play in this half.
Guinea looks a bit more in control of the match. You can see how they build up from the back, and I think their left side is the more stronger side, because that's where they try to build up and go on, where they find Sako, and he normally starts the build up from the back, and as soon as he's able to do that, he's able to find David on the left, who's playing their left wing. The first free kick we saw for them, that's where they got it. And you can see technically they are not as astute, but you can see that there's an idea of saying, let's keep possession, let's pass to each other. And when we find the space, you get that.
That's a clean break in there, getting the ball on. And this is a fast clear opening, hits the upright and gets straight into the back of the net. 7 minutes and we already have a goal. And who else would it be but the captain leading by example, Amara Keita. And oh yes, we were waiting for these, the celebratory dances here as Guinea draw first blood right here in this tournament. Benin on the back foot. It's Benin 0, Guinea 1.
Like I said to you, it's how you start, and they just started from the change room into the field. They kept running, and that left side again, that's where you see it starts, that's where you get the ball, and Sako is in there. He's able to say, I overlap, and Keita comes in and says, I know where I need to be. He's wearing number 10 for a reason, goes in a bit late into the box, gets a great first touch, and that finish is a sublime finish, really indeed, for that celebration.
Well, I must say that was a real striker's instinct. Almost thought the ball had actually gone away from him, but just the way he angled his body and got the foot right under the ball, lifting it up, the goalkeeper literally left to his mercy. But Sako, of course, must get his credit as well for that brilliant overlap, as well as the through pass that got him out onto the wing.
It makes you look at the defense of Benin to say, how are they organizing themselves?
Another chance comes up here. The goalkeeper thwarts this one out, and it almost turned 1 into 2. Well, he's quite a bit under some pressure here. Might need some support. Once again, incisive breakaway. The captain, Keita, getting involved in the build-up there. The finish denied here. Soma, his strike partner up front, just thwarted here, but they do have a corner. David to deliver this one. Gets a long ball in. Hacked clear. Now trying to, well, keep play. That's very precise from Guinea. 2 shots on target, and they already have a goal to show for it. Benin might have to come up with another tactical plan. For the moment, just doesn't seem to be unfolding as predicted.
Dealing with that wing play of Guinea is going to be important for them, meaning that they have to watch a runner, be able to stay as compact as possible. And in being compact, they need to pick up, because Keita is very slick. He just behaves as if he's not running into space, and then when the time is right, he times it and is able to run in there, take a shot, get a head on that ball, and they just need to keep an eye on him because he's really one that goes deep into that midfield, then goes forward. So he's almost playing like a false nine as an attacking midfielder for them, because you can see that this Guinea team plays with 4 at the back, and sometimes they just push Sako up, they leave 3 at the back, and they've got 2 defensive midfielders that are there and that make it easy for them to be able to attack, especially on the wings.
Quarter of the match played, and still that solitary goal, one that was really befitting to open up the tournament, as there looks to be another kick break. It'll look like a very clean break in here. Suleimane Toure having to come off his line and make the clearance. Astute at the back. And now they'll look to venture forward once again. Decisive passing here. Player brought down right at the edge of the box area. Referee Habiba says carry on with the game. Spread away. Looking to gain some penetration out on the right. David really coming up against it in here. Having a real tight break in here was Kemoko Mara. Gets himself a free kick. This one will be taken by Alassane Conte. Alassane Conte to take this one. It was a bit rush. Referee deeming it just worthy of a free kick. Might be big warning there. That's the second time Chaona is making that sort of foul. So referee might keep a clean, beady eye on him as well. Free kick. Waved in. Defense getting its job done. Only just as a chance comes up here, but referee citing an infringement here. That will be a free kick here for Benin. Chance to relieve the pressure. Not fully utilized as once again another break right at the edge of the box area. Well, Benin really need to come to grips with how they are handling themselves here. Can't keep the ball in the midfield, constantly giving away breaks up on the wings. Well, they do have a chance here for themselves to break forward, and this could be the best that they have had so far. Rona, well, making the cross a little too close here to the goalkeeper. Toure just picking that up with ease.
I think the defensive organization of Benin makes it difficult for them to have a chance in going forward, because they now have to bring more numbers to defend, because dealing with that wing play of Guinea is a tight difficult for them. But those moments that they get a breakaway going forward, I think they just need to keep the ball a bit more, or even be precise in passing their teammates, because if you just lose possession that easy, you're constantly going to be defending, and you don't want to find yourself doing that, especially trailing against a Guinea that is in so much control of the game and deciding where they attack, which side they attack. It's going to be key for them to just get a bit of confidence. That is Benin.
Ball goes over the wing, and that will be a throw-in. Powerful impact that they have put into the game, and a solid start. That's a kicking trident is one that will have to definitely have a couple of teams that are watching on here on their tenterhooks, knowing that they will have to battle them later on. Mohamed David Diallo, as well as the captain Amara Keita, and then his strike partner Ibrahima Sore Soma. Been quite formidable up front. Some real good thinking around them. Seem to have an almost telepathic understanding of movement, which I must say is quite impressive for these youngsters.
I think the coach realized that that relationship between the two, Keita and Suma, let's play a 3-5-2. They started off looking like they're playing with 4 at the back, but it's actually a 3-5-2, and Keita and Soma are able to make it difficult for the two center backs of Benin. That is Demon and Ramadan. It's difficult for them to really keep up, because when you have two players that are so incredible, constantly playing in front of you, it becomes difficult for you to even cover your fullbacks. So I think that strategy from the Guinea coach is really working for them, because they have more numbers going into the box.
Well, they'll try to fire themselves up and get themselves into the game. Yogbe, ladies, they are putting the ball out into touch, and another clean break. Almost sought here by Guinea. Really having very little pressure at the back here, playing at will. Victor, all the way back here to Sinet Jr. A long ball searching up front, looking to play David into the pitch here. This is Mara, tries to cross the ball, but goalkeeper quite agile there. Watching with a keen eye and just plucks that out of the air. Now looking to start off a counter-attack. might be the best form of play that Benin now do have in their books. They have to watch out for those instances and try to make the quick, clean breaks. That was another decent attempt. Eklo was finding himself under quite a bit more pressure than he thought was necessary. It goes to the ground. Free kick.
The challenge with that counter-attack is that when Eklo finds himself up there now, he needs to hold on to the ball a bit longer because the support is not coming as easy and as quickly. But there's hope for them because those box entries mean something for them. You know, it's just the confidence that they have to gain and do it more rapidly. You know, absorb the pressure, and when the time is right, have those key players that are important in your counter-attack because Faton needs to be there, Arona needs to be there in case that Eklon is able to make that cross. Those moments are able to come through for them.
Looking to make their break here incisively, but just can't stay on his feet. And look at that, dropping all the way back so deep. Impressive play here from Keita. Now leads off the counter-attack here. They could have a chance in here as Mara leads to the Sarge on the wing. Skipper once again tries to fit the ball in. Moment gone. And for an instance there, Mara was totally unaware of his surroundings there. That a huge fumble by Benin quite nearly handed the initiative right back to Guinea.
And he's thinking to himself, I'm already offside. Keita, he didn't give me the ball. Now he has to think, how do I reposition myself again? Because that could have been an important moment for them. You've got two players in the box that are waiting for that cross to come through. You can see now that Guinea has changed their tactic. Now they are attacking on the right side because Mara is able to go at Amadou, and it becomes difficult for Ayamadou. It becomes difficult for him to close down those spaces. There's so much overload on the right side of Guinea.
They're pressing hard and pressing high, and they're getting their right rewards. That ball rarely crossing the center line. And they'll look to fashion out another attack once again. Conte gets the ball up onto the wing. Now back again to the skipper. This could be another opportunity. Tries to lay that on a plate. Timely interception, and it's a corner right here for Guinea. Guinea still leading the game by a goal to nil. Keita, the man that popped the ball into the back of the net, Amara Keita, just as himself on the score sheet here. Look to whip the ball in. Hacked clear. Only as far as another Guinea shot. That high press, very impressive. And it looks like Benin have absolutely no response to it.
Guinea proving too strong because it looks like they've prepared a lot more for this tournament. When you see a team doing a short corner, it's something that is training ground stuff. You are able to say, if we're going to go for a long corner, let's go for a short corner, try to get the defense moving and then bombard that box, because they already have two strikers that are in there. That is Keita and Soma. So it's going to be key for Benin to look at themselves and say, how do we make it difficult for Keita to get the ball? How do we track players that are not on the ball? Because those ones are the most dangerous, because you don't know where they are going to receive, how they are going to receive, and what do they do with their next move.
Well, the back steadfast, and speculative shot. In the end, this goes to waiting hand of the goalkeeper, Toure. Looks to start it off. This is Junior. Plays it out here for Conte. Spread further out on the wing. Mara. Did start off on the opposite flank and now switching to the other flank. There's so much switching in positions here for this team, Guinea. Might really need a huge tracker to keep tabs on every player and each position that they choose to go through to.
That's the beauty of being young players. You must be able to play one or two positions, if not all of them, except you find players like me. I was the tallest, well, very short. I'm 158. So I never got to play in goals, but I've played all the other positions. So with young players, you try to teach them to be facility players that can play in any position. As they grow older, they get to specialize in a specific position where then they can get their pro contract and say, I'm a defensive midfielder, I'm an attacking midfielder, or I'm a well-known striker.
Well, for the moment, the striker here getting back to do some donkey work in the midfield and, well, gives away a foul. That's quite some agility there to get that header away. Almost paid off. In the end, was a foul there. The free kick that's given unto Benin. Free kick for Benin.
I must say I'm impressed with how the referee is handling this game. I'm not seeing a 15-year-old, I'm seeing a referee that knows what he's doing on the pitch. Kudos to Kev, really, this is really impressive.
So was the only one who had forgotten he's actually 15. He definitely would give many a run for their money. And right on cue, he sends the two teams now down the tunnel for a quick break here as it's halftime. So just 10 minutes and they will have to get the switch around. And for Benin, it's going to be a bit of soul searching there. Coach has to come up with a few new elements to implement into the game because clearly they have been outrun, outgunned, and definitely outplayed here by Guinea in the first half here. 20 minutes, and it's only one goal to talk about. Amara Keita scoring the all-important goal here for Guinea that gives them the lead in this opening match of the CAF African Schools Championship.
Go. Again, So you take your time checking the nets. You'll be looking at me, the assistant, and I'll tell you rush or take your time.
Now set to get underway here, and a quick 10 minutes break, and it's back to the action. The man of the moment here for having given his team the lead, and probably being the go-to man here, Captain Amara Keita will lead Guinea once again on the pitch. A team that made a late-minute entry into this particular tournament, and at the moment they are running rings around the Waffle B champions there, Benin. It's Benin 0. Guinea 1. Second half underway. Looks like there'll be a substitution here for the team Benin. Getting confirmation in just a bit who exactly will exit here, but you have to say there definitely was need to make a couple of changes.
And I just wonder if they're making changes up front or at the back, or they needed to change their strategy, because Guinea is playing with 3 at the back, 5 in midfield and 2 up front. So it means there's overloads in midfield and also at the top.
A curious question on how they make that change in there, but trying to make a quick slip in. There's an earlier start there, and quite nearly paying off here as Mohamed David Diallo ghosting his way into the goal area there. It's a good moment. Quick foul here, trying to get some space. I'm not so sure he had a lot of space to operate within there. Giovanni Battista Eclou just earns a free kick here for Benin. Launched long. A couple of bodies up front here. They could fashion out a chance for themselves. Nice tee up, a one-on-one with the goalkeeper, and he makes the save. Well, Benin won't find a much bigger opportunity. That probably has been the closest that they have gotten in. The defense caught cold there. The goalkeeper wasn't going to fall prey to it. It's a throw-in. Still on pressure, Benin with the ball in. Keita tries to get the ball back. They still have possession here. Much fanciful play here now from Benin, trying to get themselves on the front foot, keeping the aggression on. Oh, taking a leaf out of Guinea's book here with that high press. And ultimately, Guinea managed to get away from that low block.
You mentioned very important opportunity to be up top and try to maximize score, because this Guinea team, once they're in charge and they're in control, it becomes very difficult for you to get out of the pressure. They suffocate you with the numbers that they send forward. But I guess that change from Benin is giving them something, because there's a shot on target for the first time for them this game.
Mobide Ayamadu going on to take that shot there, the second shot of the game for them. Had one in the first half, had one in the second half. Might want to up that tally. If you can't shoot, you can't score.
And for us to be able to even remember that it's the second shot in the game, it shows you that this is a team that is not going into the box as much as possible. They are absorbing the pressure and try to find the space behind that defense of Guinea. And if they get their things right and get their strategy right, they might be able to catch them, because it's only 3 defenders that are building up. These are the moments we are talking about. Keep the pressure on, try to win the ball back, and maximize on that opportunity.
A good play there, trying to flood the numbers in and make sure they catch them cold. Guinea, well, pretty confident now in their game plan, not being hurried. This is a foul here. It's a free kick. The referee asserting his authority on the game there, letting everybody know he is in charge. They look to keep the ball in play. There could be a chance here to slip the ball in. Kito Kamara, supposed to be a defender, now alternating with Conte. Look at how far up front they actually are.
I'm asking myself if the referee is saying, young man, be careful, because he's a young man himself. Or he's saying, player, careful.
Most likely player. Most likely player. Well, that would be an interesting one if you said young man.
Yeah.
Free kick here. Benin to benefit here, and they'll have to build from the back, but looking to launch quick. Thwarted there. Of course, aerial superiority here at the moment, coming in to get better there. There's a first yellow card of the game. That's a yellow card brandished there, as earlier on we got confirmation of that substitution. Well, it was long overdue. That's his third foul in the game. It's the third time he's been called to book, and referee this time running out of patience with Tatuona, getting him a yellow card there. The ball falling out here, throw in. For the moment, we seem to have a couple of bodies hitting the deck. The latest one being Mohamed David Diallo, having a bit of a run in. Seems to be in quite some bit of pain here.
That's something that the referee, the coach rather, would look at and say it might be a blow for him, because ouch, that must hurt.
Absolutely. Right on the heel. So sure it was premeditated, but ooh. Didn't look as bad in real time as we get another chance to look at this opportunity that was availed. Oh, seemed to have been wrong-footed there, caught in 2 minds, not really sure the ball was coming to him at the moment. Then by the time the ball came, control was lost, tried to get onto his stronger foot there, but just could not find his way in. Mobine Ayamadu with the closest that Benin have come in this game.
And the quickest, because they just launched that ball, and the second ball that they got, then they were able to just go into the final third. And I think they just need to be ready for those moments that are in there. And I think that's why my mom is also in there, trying to make sure that those crosses that come in, because Eklon is able to bring in those crosses, especially with the combination of Ayamadu on the left side. Now you can see they're a bit alive, which means that change in the first half that you spoke about of David and Mara swapping, it is now given Ayamadu of Benin more confidence to be able to go forward.
Ayamadu starting off the game there with the throw. Well, seems to be all over the pitch at the moment. They try to once again cue their way up front. The ball rolls out. It's a throw in, taken quickly. Eklu looking to release Yaho Visen Kogobu. Just could not get ample space to play in, and they'll have to settle for a set piece here. pressure applied in the end.
This is showing us there's confidence in this Benin team because Kukubu plays as a defensive midfielder, and you're finding up top on the field chasing a through ball like that. It means the strategy is also changing to say, let's go out. We've got nothing to lose, but what are we defending? That 1-0? Go forward.
Hardly anything that will give them a lot of points in here anyway. You probably would want to roll the dice and try to go forward. 14 minutes left to play. Little time. Just gotten back on the pitch, and you have to remind yourself it's 20 minutes as opposed to the normal 45. Good skills here, trying to dribble his way into the final third. Just couldn't crack the defense. Locked tight at the moment, and now looking to turn defense into attack. Well, trying to be a little more careful right now as another yellow card there, Kogobu Yaho Vicent. Might be a bit of a problem. He's been one of the other players that has been quite lively in here. If they're picking up these many yellow cards, you begin to wonder what happens later on in the tournament.
And I think the pressure comes with that overload in that midfield, because now they are 5 against 3 in that midfield, and that's why he's always late against your Sako. He's always against a David that comes in, a Sailor and a Dicto that also comes into that midfield. And you also find Keita dropping into his position to collect, and then he moves away. So he loses track of who he needs to be picking up and marking. But there's him with the referee saying, Tachona, to say, you guys need to be careful because you're going to pick up a lot more yellow cards. So early in the tournament, it's not good.
Well, substitution here. That is made for Guinea, and it's the end of the game for Ibrahima Ito Kamara. In his place, Ibrahima Sako will come in to play the game for the couple of minutes that are left in here. Like swap, according to the stats here. Looks like they're going to stick with the same game plan, but right now making a clean break and not making the follow-through run there. But that was deadly for Benin. You cannot have 3 attackers closing in on 1 defender. Suicidal.
Those are the overloads we are talking about. Make sure you have numerical superiority, more numbers in attack, and make it difficult for the defender to, you know, close down the spaces and all of that. Now it means as someone needed more confidence and conviction to say, I can take the player on, hold on to the ball a lot more, maybe lose it from your feet instead of just giving it away, especially in the final third.
Long ball. Out towards the box area, thwarted instantly. Failing to get the clearance. It's a chance to break on the wings. This is exactly how they started the first half of the game, or the first quarter of the match here. Utterly utilizing the wings, and once again back onto those wings, looking to spray the ball through the center. Keita able to retain possession, still within their facet here. Ibrahima Silia popping it back to the goalkeeper, joining in now as a sweeper. Sets the ball here for Conte. Pick up coming in from David Diallo. Looks like he's totally recovered from his earlier mishaps, but fails to keep the ball in play. Ball goes over the line. That's a throw in. Not a very happy captain here from Benin. Abdulu Asani, the man currently with the armband, seems to be pretty unhappy with the proceedings on the pitch.
If you were Smile, I would be surprising. I would be surprised to say, El Capitano, what is the problem? Are you happy with the scoreline? You know, get your troops to step up, step on it, because 10 minutes to go for you might mean a lot, especially against the Guinea side that has so much confidence. They've just made a sub now with Ibrahim Sako coming in. It means that wing play, they want to re-establish again so that they're able to balance the 2 sides, because now they've just been attacking on the right side, that is Guinea.
Still the solitary goal scored in the 8th minute. And well, these are matches that really could go either way. We've seen some of these matches look very low scoring, and there are those that have been, well, a glut of goals during the UNAF qualifiers in there. Morocco beat Libya 12-0 to secure their victory and get themselves here. That was in the final. So you never know what exactly you're going to get. Could be as little as 1 goal, could be none, or could be a glut.
Own goals must be a part of those 12 goals that were scored there by Morocco.
5 were scored by 1 player.
Probably one of the top scorers in the qualifiers.
Well, there's a yellow card here, and that's brandished here for Guinea. Ibrahima Sore Soma hasn't really had a very fine game for himself today. He's constantly found himself in a bit of a start-stop, and many times having to be deployed out to the wing. And now when he comes to the midfield here, referee finds him infringing on the laws of the game. It's a free kick. But looking to break forward. Once again, could be a chance here to catch Guinea still reorganizing themselves, but doesn't pay out, and it's a corner kick instead. Corner kick for Benin. Ayamadu to deliver this one. Mobine Ayamadu goes searching. Goalkeeper fumbles, loses out here. Looking for the back heel, not going through. Tight defending. Appeals for penalty, not given. Well, the center referee will not have his mind changed. The goalkeeper seems to be in quite a bit of pain, but those were 3 different instances where Benin could have easily got themselves the equalizer, and it just wasn't to be. Well, talk about dogged defending or defending to the death. Guinea were not relenting here. First instance, goalkeeper fumbles, the back heel cleared away. Second instance, I'm still trying to figure out why they were calling for that penalty.
You have to give it to the defense. Look at that. Defend at all costs. Body on the line. We always say, body on the line. Mini goalkeeper, no penalty. You can see with the slow-mo. Well, we are privy to the slow-mo. It's just unfortunate for the coach and the players on the pitch. They won't be able to see this, but really, body on the line, defend at all costs.
Wow.
Make sure that ball doesn't go and cross the line.
Well, there's going to be a bit of credit there to that defense for managing to keep the ball away from the line. But how about this young referee, Habiba, who called it right in that instance and was absolutely adamant in his decision? Spot on, he was. Long ball coming through, shot coming in, but finally they have been breached. Well, that was a mercurical strike, top draw, miles away. Who else? It might have been just the captain once again that gets to reply in similar volume. Well, they just got their applause for having kept the ball away from the goal area, but find themselves now on the back foot. There's not much you could do about those ones. The goalkeeper stood absolutely no chance. The defense caught flat-footed, brilliantly angled. No, you just have to give it to him. Top marks for that strike. Benin 1, Guinea 1.
You know what is beautiful about this corner is that it's an outswinger. An outswinger says it's moving away from the goalkeeper, so the goalkeeper wouldn't have been able to get there. Ture, no matter what, he wouldn't be able to go there. Now, the defensive organization for that corner to say, Guinea, what's happening at last pole? And this was intentional from Benin to say, let's go for the last pole because nobody's looking at that. Let's do action on the penalty spots, but deliver it there. And that finish, it's a sublime finish. Technically, that is one of the best goals I've seen. And in this tournament, that might stand as one of the top goals in the tournament. It's still early, but it's one of the best ones we've seen.
Well, he's been one of the live wires of the game. Mobine Ayamadu, shot 17, and currently with the armband, leading by example. It's clearly the captain's making sure that leadership is also not lost on the African football championships.
We spoke about a captain being angry. He heard us.
He was, and took matters to his own hands. Well, now they have a chance, trying to race forward. The ball just goes over the line, and that will be a goal kick. So a goal apiece with 5 minutes left to play. We could be in for a frantic finish to this one. Otherwise, it will be a share of the spoils. What has been a game largely of 2 halves. 1 half dominated by Guinea. Second half, well, Benin realizing they needed to come out and play. It's a tourist resort. There's quite a bit of a battle that has to go on the pitch before you can enjoy the splendors of Zanzibar.
We asked, the type of sub that the coach made, now it's proving true because there's 3 defenders of Guinea, and now there's 2 strikers that are also thrown up there. We saw Faton coming out and Mamam comes in, and now you can see the center backs are not playing as freely. There's more intensity that is applied by Benin, and we said it in the second half. That was the second shot, that was a sign to say we are attacking, we are coming at you, and the strategy has also changed because now they are not leaving time and space on the ball for Guinea to dictate and say we are playing freely. It's becoming more competitive.
Well, they do have a chance to break forward again. We will be talking to you in just a bit later on about how Guinea might reflect on this game. They had a host of chances. This could have easily been 3-0 before it came to 1-1. A bit wasteful.
A bit wasteful. And I think that's going to be a talk from the coach to say when you have opportunities, make sure that you capitalize. Score goals. If you are playing a game where you are doing a counter-attack, you need to be a bit more clinical in that. But we will forgive them a bit because this level, at this stage, these young players are still learning. They are still understanding their body positioning, the space, the speed, the intensity, the tactics to say under pressure, how do I behave? And technically under pressure, it's what we are trying to see now to say, how do these players perform when there's so much pressure to execute and execute the right way?
A long ball launched forward. Center referee Habiba. Well, he'll be one who will definitely come through this match with flying colors. First match, and if this is any precedent to set, well, the future looks very, very bright.
Talking about a future that is very bright, I'm looking at the 4th official, Zakaria. He's also young. Looking at him standing there on the halfway line, you can see that is a young man who understands. Being a 4th official, you're part of the referee panel, and you need to make sure this game is running smoothly. So far, I'm enjoying what I'm seeing here. Big round of applause, and you know, congratulations to CAF being able to say African Schools Football Championships doesn't only bring under 15 boys and girls, 900 of them here, but also referees, officials that are here. They are young, bright future you are talking about. I'm excited.
Well, Zakaria is that 4th official that we're talking about. The youngest that we do have, 15 years of age. I have to keep reminding myself he's not a ball boy. He is actually an official.
True, very true.
2 minutes left to play here. In just a bit, find out how much time will be added here by center referee. Before we bring this one to a close, will there be any let drama? That goal quite practically knocking the stuffing out of Guinea. They at the moment not really getting into the rhythm that they had in the first half of the game. Goalkeeper will now look to launch another offensive. This is much more lively from Benin. A couple more players loading up front and spacing themselves out, picking out their sections, and now trying to utilize the wing where they have the overload. Pitching the ball away, looking to break in here. The ball thwarted, and that will be a throw in. Throw in there. Another substitution. Dua Sani has now taken the armband, if you notice there. And it looks like after scoring the goal, well, Mobine Ayamadu is now very comfortable staying at the back. Long searching ball. Looking to break away on the attack. What could they come up with here? Maybe one final throw of the gauntlet. It could be 15 seconds. Time running out here. Keita gets the ball up onto the wing once again. Looking to cross, and that's a penalty. Oh, wow. Commentators, Cass, it must be. We call the fact that they might be let drama, and they are getting undone here. Benin battling hard to get back into this game, but at the very tail end, on the curtain drop, Habiba, center referee, is absolutely right in his call. That's a penalty, no two ways about it. Well, act in. Oof. Quite the misfortune there for Ramadane Ali. It's a very sweet cross, deceptive there. And in the end, Not much to do. Now it's going to fall to Mark Fatolu to try and keep his team hanging on for at least a point as Amara Keita, the captain, steps up. Huge pressure, especially at this moment, right at the death, for you to be taking a penalty.
He has to breathe. He has to breathe and pick his spot.
Trying to look very nonchalant here. Avoiding eye contact here with the goalkeeper. He's keeping his eyes all right on the ball here. Quick glance, makes the run. Oh, dispatched there with cool civility and pure precision here. Guinea restore their lead right at the death, and there'll be very little time in which for Benin to try and recover. They did put a bit of a comeback, but in the end, too little too late, as at the very death they falter, and it's now Benin 1, Guinea 2.
At this moment, you can see that Benin just wanted to equalize, and they were bringing the heat. And we spoke about how the team hits the ground running. I think Guinea came onto the field in the first half, and they just hit the ground running. And in the second half, probably Benin didn't even go into the change room to sit. They were probably standing and saying, we want to continue. Now you ask yourself, are they used to playing 20 minutes a half? Because mentally, physically, emotionally, are you invested to just kick off and, you know, go for goal? And at this moment, that's where you see that Guinea knows how to win matches.
Well, the referee brings the game to a close here, and still protests galore from the Benin players. But, well, there's little that you can have to complain about, as the center referee has ticked all the boxes. Penalty incident was one who was very, very certain about how proceedings had gone. And in the end of the day, well, Guinea will be the one that celebrates all 3 points accumulated here. Amara Keita with a brace here, one from the spot and one in the 8th minute, as Asani had a chance here in the 34th minute, but turns out to only have been a consolation here for Benin. Full time, Benin 1, Guinea 2.
On nous appelle, on nous appelle.
Oh, welcome back. Now, that was just game one. What a great game of football. 20 minutes per half, and we've been absolutely entertained by both Benin and Guinea as they have played out to a 3-goal thriller. Only the team leaving the pitch rather happier will definitely be Guinea, as their captain, fantastic, Amara Keita, scoring a brace early on in the game, 8th minute, and then at the very death from the penalty spot in what, well, Benin were protesting, but from the pictures we saw, you and I, no VAR for them, although it was quite hilarious to watch those young players demand for the VAR. That's what the future holds, in case you're wondering, but it was absolutely entertaining, and it is just the beginning. I see the fans, I don't know if you can see them, but around the stadium, the fans are slowly starting to turn up. It's very early in the morning, and it's proving to be absolutely worth the visit, worth the trip down. We are live from Zanzibar. It is the Africa School Football Championships, and we have watched what proved to be an amazing, amazing game. I was speaking to our next analyst. I'll introduce him to you, but Ghanaians, the Black Stars, will definitely know him. CK Akona. Now, that's a name that you will remember, got the Black Stars to the Africa Cup of Nations Cameroon, but didn't manage to exactly be part of that tournament. He is going to be part of this tournament, and the joke between me and him is, at least here, he'll be able to finish the tournament. We'll make sure we don't send him away. But meanwhile, we are with Tlutlu. I hope I said it again. You see, let's go with Simpiwe, and she is coach of the under-17 South African side girls team. And you were watching this game. I heard a bit of your commentary. First and foremost, the pace of this game.
Listen, these players, you're looking at them and you're thinking to yourself, it's just 20 minutes. Where did they warm up? I think they just ran onto the field, hit the ground running, and you can see the number of goals that they've scored and how that they scored the goals. Incredible.
Now, I was watching, and we were watching with CK Akona, the former Ghana Black Stars head coach, and he was talking about the setup of this Guinea side with three at the back, talking about how they've set themselves up to put pressure. And in the first half, they did dominate, didn't they? They were causing all sorts of problems, no room for space in the midfield because their fullbacks had gone up and you were forcing them wide, and the offside trap was working pretty well. Second half, story changed.
I think you look at the formation that they employed today, 3-5-2, meaning that a Kitu up top, a Keita up top with Amadou. It means that they wanted to suffocate the defense of Benin. And in doing that, it means also there were overloads in that midfield, 5 midfielders, wing backs going up and down. That for me was incredible because that's how the first goal comes in, with a cross from the wide, a header from Keita. For me, he didn't score that header, but you could see that they really know what they are doing. Defensively, they were organized, but they couldn't handle it in the second half because that's how they considered the goal.
Oh, let's talk about that second half, because you called it, those changes and the pace that now Benin came in. You said it, 1-2 attacks telling you, hey, look, we're in control of this particular game, and boy, did they take control.
They did take control, and you can see that the changes are important. You know how the timing of the changes is important, the types of changes that you make, because you could see that now there was a midfield battle there to say, you're not going to have time and space on the ball, Guinea. Yes, you've scored, but we are coming at you. They didn't allow them time and space to build up freely and be able to dictate and operate, especially going wide on the wings. And that goal comes at a moment where they say it's an outswinger corner that comes in. We score from that, and it's game on, 1-1.
Let's talk about that equalizer. Oh, I do not think I can put it in better words than you did in that commentary. I think it stands early on, but definitely a contender for game of the tournament.
Absolutely, I cannot say anything but agree with you when it comes to that. You can see the technique, the timing of it. You know, how he hits it across. The goalkeeper didn't see anything happening there because of the technique. They're under 15, by the way. So the quality of football that they're giving us, it's sublime. It's really incredible. That really, for me, is one of the top goals of the tournament. I know it's day one, but I'm really putting it out there.
Mobile Amayadu is the man who brings them equal, but then at the end, at the very death, as so often happens, whether it's senior football or clearly the under-15 football, that handball, game changes, result heartbreaking for Benin.
Guinea knows how to win matches, and you could see they absorbed the pressure and said, we just considered a goal, so what do? Let's go ultra attack. It's part of our game. And because Benin were just still excited about pushing up front, they forgot of the space that is behind. So that penalty comes at the right time. Talk about the referee spotting it and really seeing that it's a penalty. And that finish from Keita, for me, it was one for the books, because he just composes himself, looks at the goalkeeper and goes for that right in the middle, but at the top. 80% of the goals are scored at that level. So for me, this is a Benin side that said Guinea will bring the heat for you, but Guinea was more organized, more structured, and really knew how to win this match.
Now, if I were to throw you on the spot here, because we're talking about ultimately a holistic approach to football development with this Africa Schools program, correct? This is the football championship, so there's a football aspect to it. But as you pointed out, congrats to the officials, the officiating. Before we get into the players that probably stood out for you, who would you go with? How would you rate the performance of the officials who have also been trained and are coming up for the future?
The only time you get to remember that they are 15 is when you see the stats. Otherwise, it was a clean match. Even the fourth official, we looked at him. We needed to make sure it wasn't a ball retriever because of how young he looked as well. So for me, big ups to CAF, because African Schools Football Championships is not just about the 15-year-olds that are playing here, 900 players that are here, boys and girls, but also the coaches, the referees that are here, the administrators that are here. For me, that's what we are talking about when we say we're developing football holistically. It's not just the 22 on the pitch, but even outside of that, 22 plus the referee. So for me, the referee was really outstanding. There was a penalty call in between before that goal from a corner, and he really stood up with confidence and said, no, it's not, because I'm watching, I can see this, how he handles the players. We made a joke in the commentary box to say, is he saying, young man, don't do that, because he's a young man himself.
It has been a very brilliant performance from both sides, and ultimately, generally, even the coaches who we will be speaking to in just a second are also part of that team. Remember, they have qualified, they are respected in CAF, and we're not just bringing up random players. No. We've had some amazing performances. But just to pick your brain here and there, because we can talk about the players, and I know I've not finished asking that question as in who stood out for you, at least the player of the match or the names to look out for, but technically, tactically, what did you think of the coaches? Because you know how much patience you have to employ when you're dealing with the youth.
I think the tactics were really on point, especially for Guinea, who played with a 3-5-2. Normally you see 4 at the back traditionally, but putting 3 at the back, 5 in midfield and 2 up top, you could see what they wanted to do. Wing play was clear, and even the defensive organization, you could see that the teams are trying, but they can improve on that element because both teams conceded 2 goals and 1 from Guinea. So with that, for me, I think I'm looking at the teams and saying technically Keita is one of the players that is standing out for me because he plays as a false 9, but he's a 10 also. Yeah. He drops into that midfield and goes up top. You hardly see that with young players like this, where they keep possession. For me, I think it's been incredible. Also, the tactics into saying wing play, bring back, with the coaches to say, we are losing. Coach of Benin says we are losing. How do we step up? Put more pressure, don't allow them time and space on the ball. It can only get better as the tournament progresses.
It can only get better as the tournament progresses. We hope you progress with this tournament. We are on social media. Check out the show. Check out the games. Enjoy the highlights. We'll be giving you a sneak peek into the world of Zambia, the cultural aspect of it from our social media. Tag us at CAF_online. We are here for you, and you are here for the brilliant kind of football we're watching from the future generation. And that generation doesn't look too bad. You're talking about Captain Fantastic. Keita, absolutely resilient. Defensively, how did you see the defenders going? Because I loved looking at Benin. 3 at the back is kind of a risky play. It allows you more control in the midfield, but it is opening yourself up. They play that high line pretty well.
Yeah, when you fix one problem, you create another one.
Isn't that true?
They are fixing a problem of overloading in that midfield, but they are thin at the back. And how quickly do the 2 defensive midfielders join the defense to make it 5? And we could see also with Benin the number of crosses that they brought in, the shots that they brought in, even the corner that they got that resulted into a goal. You could see that there's spaces behind the wing backs there that are not coming back too early. So that space is going to be exploited. Whoever that's playing Guinea in the next match is going to look at them and say, there are those spaces behind the wing backs there that we can explore. But going forward for them, they've just been great at it. The only thing that they also need to look at is to say, how do they close down that space and drop back into that defense, find defensive third where they only have 3. So how high do they go and how quickly do they drop to recognize that the spaces that is created by the wing backs, do they close it? Because Benin exposed those spaces. And for to say, where do we close the first line of defense and all of that?
Absolutely. And one final word. I heard you and Jermaine in commentary having a little bit of fun with having to remind yourself it's not a ball boy. This is a match official. In fact, one of the youngest officials, referees, as CAF is trying to build up that generation of officials in the tournament at 15 years from Morocco, from Libya. Promising.
Really promising, and that's what we are talking about. Don't start too late, and Africa is saying we are starting very early and we are doing it the right way. African Schools Football Championship, we've got more in store for you.
Speaking of more in store, Libya is up next against South Africa, where you hail from. What do they have to offer? That is what we will be finding out, and we will also be giving you results of other games that are going on. But for now, we take a very quick break, and when we're back, it's that beautiful build-up to that promising game, considering the start here, South Africa, Libya. Stick around. All right. So, welcome to the second game of the Africa Schools Football Championships 2024. Very quickly bring into your picture the analysts. You've already met Simpiwe. She's been here, Tlulu Simpiwe. And now I want to introduce the coach, former coach of the Black Stars, none other than CK Akono. And we're building up to a very quick build up to this game. What we've seen in the first game, brilliant Akono. What do you expect in this particular one?
Well, I'm
South
expecting
Africa,
a
Libya.
beautiful football. Of course, I'm very aware of South Africa, what they can do. So, beautiful football, interesting game, and of course, we want to see a lot of revelation in this tournament.
All right, Simpiwe, now to you. You've watched the first game. I see the players are walking in. What do you expect?
I hope that they hit the ground running as well, because it's only 20 minutes a half, so they just need to apply themselves, make sure you score goals as quickly as possible and defend as much as you can.
Absolutely. We will be back at halftime. Do not worry about right now. We will let CK Akono head on to commentary, where he'll join Jermaine Gessa now to the match.
Our second match of the day set to get underway right here at the Amani Stadium in South Africa, taking on Libya. And these two had some very interesting qualification routes to find their way to this place right here. Well, for the UNF representative, that is Libya, beating Egypt by a goal to nil and going on to secure the championship. Their captain, Zubair Mohammed, going on to score there for them, as well as turning out to be one of the top scorers there, though it was with only a goal in there. And of course, they'll be hoping that they can continue a solid trend as they will match up with the COSAFA representative, South Africa, who have both the boys and the girls categories in there. The boys, of course, beating Malawi on penalties after that one-all draw. Rai Ferguson scoring the all-important goal in that draw. And of course, going on to help out as they scored all the 3 penalties. And Malawi not able to score even a single one in there. Simatha Ingathi was the player of the tournament. And then we did have Rai Ferguson as the Golden Boot scorer or winner, with 4 goals to his name. Will they continue with a similar trend here? Well, that's the big question as we have the second matchup here of the day. We're waiting to see if they can match up to the game. Karibuni Zanzibar, this is the CAF African Schools Championship.
Hey, Captain. No, Captain.
Continuing with the trend in here, it is match official Mohamed Sena, all the way from Gambia. Will be assisted here by Traore Habib, all the way from Senegal. We shall have Delicia Del Fatuna, that is from Angola, also as the second assistant referee. And the fourth official will be Tasiro, all the way from Madagascar. Not alone in here, as I am now currently joined by Charles Akona, or as we prefer to call him, Charles AK, former coach of the Ghana Black Stars. Welcome to the commentary booth, sir.
Thank you.
Exciting games that we've already had. Game 1 proving to be quite the thrill. What are we looking out for in game 2?
I'm looking forward to a pretty game. Interestingly, the first game showed a lot of excitement, and we expect the same show with this second team.
Well, he will get to start, and he'll be one of the players to look out for. Shot number 11, Rai Ferguson. Shot number 11 was their top scorer. We'll be expecting a lot more from him in this one, as well as we do get to see that is how they will be patched out for this one. Head coach Dave Waters there, the one we just caught a glimpse of in that sequence.
Okay, that's an interesting player. You're talking of the coach?
The coach, and of course his star man there, Rai Ferguson.
Yeah, okay. I'm sure probably in the few games that they've played, he showed a lot of talent and what he can do, and so they expect him to do the same thing this afternoon.
The opposite end here. underway. We are South Africa in the all green, Libya in the red and black. 20 minutes for the first half, and we are starting it off in style. Big cross in, box area opening sequence here. Goalkeeper, well, having to come out here and make a very fine attempt at making a save in there. At the moment, it looks like we might have a stray object on the pitch, or it's actually someone's boot.
Someone Shinkas, I guess. You know, it's very interesting. You have only 20 minutes, and therefore it's meant that you need to be aggressive. That is what the Libyans are doing, putting a lot of pressure, pressing football, and making them forcing them to make mistakes.
Shot number 6, Mohamed Al Jubair, the top scorers in F. The one that actually now gets to one of those that will be looked at here. South Africa, currently represented by Ubuntu Academy, as Shohada Amir School do represent just Libya, but the entire UNAF zone. Qualified from the nations, were articulate when it came to the zonals. Now at the continent, they vie for the pride of being the top of the pops.
I think you can see South Africa, they look more structured, they know exactly what they are doing. They know the term limit is also very small, so they are playing accordingly to what they have planned to do.
Looking to make a clean break in here. Chance here, breaking away from second player. Shot fancy in. Quite adept and handling that well. Well, the goalkeeper here for Libya. With a very busy young lad here.
I think it's more of, it's very important that he gives a pass than even trying to score himself, because the angle was very, very close, and so he had given a pass would have probably led to a goal scoring opportunity.
Good to break again. South Africa seem to have the upper hand in the box area. Fixing that instant clearance, and it looks like it's all one-way traffic for the moment. South Africa giving as good as they get Libya for the moment. Well, soaking up the pressure.
Yeah, they are doing a lot of pressing, and so the game is played in the Libyans' half. But South Africans are getting chances, and therefore they must make use of the chances they are getting.
Looking for a shot in here. Ooh, that whistle's agonizingly close. Way too close here. And a very decent attempt this time coming in from Tillin.
Well,
right
very,
on the edge.
very good attempt. The angle was, the choice he made was also good, just that he needed to get a good direction into the goal.
South Africa need to press these early minutes, 3 minutes, and a couple of instances where they've had attempts coming very, very close. How long will they keep it at this momentum? I want to make sure that you finish off the job a little early, especially when you have these kind of opportunities.
That's what I'm saying. They've done so well by putting pressure to the Libyans and also creating chances, but they have to score.
Buoyant flags here, making their presence felt as well. Enjoying the ambience in the studio. It's quickly turning out into a lively fun fest, as we do have a couple of students also joining in to watch the game.
Yeah, beautiful. Beautiful atmosphere. I think the game is being played in Libya's half because South Africa has a plan, and the plan is to give them space and then, of course, press on. And that's what has been the story since the beginning of the game.
Referee here signaling that that should be a throw-in from it to get going. It's a good start here from South Africa. Gets it all up front. Speak up here from the backside. Malay. Get on here for into midfield here, looking to break away. In break, was that onside? Well, it's an offside flag here. Once again, Shantilling making a clean break from the wing. There might be special attention that needs to be paid out to that flag, because he keeps cutting in. He's getting so many opportunities.
Yeah, the Libyans are not able to watch the wider areas of their defensive area, and so the South Africans are taking advantage of that. But they are in control of the game, and once you are in control of the game, you get a lot of options to attack.
Shot from distance, goalkeeper. Well, that looked like it was way too far out, and the goalkeeper absolutely livid here with his defense, throwing him to the wolves. Well, that didn't look like it would pack the punch it did. The goalkeeper taking absolutely no suckers in here, while Faitori
he anticipated very well. Yeah, very well. Very good anticipation, and he saved the situation. It would have been a goal.
Seems to be one of the few that is alert to the dangers here. As we have another corner, there's a player on the ground, and the referee spotting that instantly holds play. Now we'll have a word. Having a word there with Rai Ferguson. Making sure that player gets back onto his feet there. It's a bit of a scuffle. It was in the box area. Referee having that sorted out quickly. And we'll have a retake of the corner. Ahmed Gada was the man that was fortunate to go to the ground. Long ball in. Goalkeeper once again tips that away. Well, if they keep this up and Libya get anything out of this particular game, you might want to give that goalkeeper the man of the match performance.
Exactly. He's done so well. I mean, he's been the savior of the Libyan side. The pressure is on, and it's the same story. Libya are not able to come out of their zone. Every time it's more, the attack is on them.
Looking to make a breakaway, and that's a bit clumsy, giving the ball straight back here to the South Africans. They camp right at the edge of the box area. Libya have hardly crossed into the South African half, and there's a cross here for Ferguson. Cannot get to the ball in time, trying to tip it away. Yeah. Good alert goalkeeping here.
They've had a plan, and I think they're utilizing it, the South Africans. And what is the problem now is how they finish. They are not good finishers. They've had chances to score. They've not been clinical up front.
Chance to venture forward once again. Good hold up of the ball to the midfield. This is a fast, clean break here. Now looking to spray the ball across the pitch. Riyad Amir trying to get the front men into the game. Just stands out to have been not quite according to plan. Ali Abutelef trying to chase that ball down there, but well, another red herring in here. To the midfield, swift turn. Such precision play here from Kaiden Martins. So look to get their tall Colossus defender in here. Hayden Boyson try to spray the ball up onto the wing.
Again, there was opportunity at the wider areas. They attacked there. They're playing with purpose. They know exactly what they're doing. It feels good on the South Africans.
Well, they need to keep a clean eye on Bomibethu, shot number 4, youngster who constantly finds himself in space as the far post was the intended spot here. Trying to keep the ball in play now, whipping it in, and a good pickup in here. Fantastic save here once again from Luail. He's really keeping this a tight affair for Libya.
He is. He anticipates very well. And so he doesn't look like he's struggling in terms of how to get the situation going.
Get the ball forward now. South Africa looking to carry the ball forward in here. Trying to make good play there from Simama, the captain. Out onto the wing. It's a good, delicate pair. Back to Hayden. Looking pretty confident here, Hayden. Probably one of the younger ones here. Just born in 2009. Quite green by the ears, we could say. Out to the wing. This time looking for a swift cross, and now into space. There could be an opening here, looking for opportunity to shoot. Arguably denied. Simama holding onto the ball, goes to the ground, gets back onto his feet, still battling for possession. Oh, not giving up the ball by any beat here, the captain.
The game is literally being played. Wow. Another save.
Not so sure how many times he will keep reminding his teammates of what's at stake here. Just another instance in there. Clean break into the box. Big shot, big save. And once again, it's Stillings taking the shot.
They are danger man. I mean, he's somebody who brings, he traces the opponent. He's always attacking. They have him when he gets to the final third to finish whatever it is.
Whipped in from the far end. That one's just popped out to the side, and it will be another corner. So it's 10 minutes of the game played. Another 10 left to be played here. And South Africa seem to have Libya right by the back ropes.
Exactly. They are playing the best game for themselves. I mean, you don't see the Libyans coming out. South Africa is in control. The number 4 shed again. The danger man is the one to take the kick. Let's see what they do.
Whipped in. A chance here. Glanced off. Oh, another corner. Third in quick succession. Libya need a break. Need to catch a break here.
But it's dangerous, you know, as they keep defending. Just one attack on the side of the Libyans can end up a goal. You look at the way South Africa are playing. They have to score now.
Well, they played this one short, trying to look for the spectacular here from the captain, Ganathi Simama. In the end, just sending that high, wide, and away. It will be a goal kick. Looking to build from deep. That back line has been run ragged. Need to quickly come up with another plan in here as they lose the ball once again. Hayden. Once again inviting Libethu. Plays it back to Hayden. Spreading it out to the flank. Chance for them once again to venture forward. Looking to twist one way, then the other. In our clean opening here, pops up right at the edge of the box area. Ooh, beautiful skill, sublime, ball delivered. Just couldn't finish. The player that they were anticipating to get the job done here, Rai Ferguson, top scorer in their qualification to the continental stage. Tapping it should have been, somehow popping that up.
Yeah, it should have been easier to finish this. A beautiful chance to score. I mean, the tactical play of the South Africans has really helped them, but unfortunately they've not been able to score, which is the bad what you will say they're doing bad. They have to be able to finish.
They need to turn their misfortunes around sooner than later. Can't have just a plethora of opportunities and still fail to actually make it count here. It's all one-way traffic. South Africa pummeling Libya, except on one start, the goals.
The goals. Oh.
73, 72 ball possession, 28 here for Libya. Has another opportunity here. Just whistles away. Hayden this time trying to get into the attacking fray as well.
Sometimes it's so difficult when you play against a team who is not tactically too sound. You end up doing well, but to score becomes sometimes an issue, and that's what the South Africans are doing. But it's just a matter of time, I think.
Boyce and Hayden possession, tries to get the ball up front. This one is left to roll away. Hardly seen many of the other Libyan players getting involved in this game. It's actually been just strictly their goalkeeper that has been putting up a show.
Exactly. They keep on doing the same mistakes, you know, because they are aware the South Africans will press, yet they develop the ball from the back, which is not good. Probably they should look to put in the half of South Africans.
Beitamal tries to get a through pass up front, now trying to chase this one down. Quick run up front. Able to get to that ball. Ali Abutelef, a late addition to the starting lineup here. Just coming in a little later.
Okay.
This is Rai Ferguson. Attempts to take the first time shot, but this time it's excellently blocked by Riyad Amir. Possession still for South Africa. The center of the park, Simama.
It's very difficult for the Libyans to come out of this because there's no clue, there's no idea how they were going to come out.
Looking now to get the break in here, gets into the box area once again. Nice cut back, the captain alert to the danger here, just making sure that ball is sprayed away. Suleiman
Maybe he could have finished it himself. I mean, he was in an area to score, to make attempt at goal, but he chose to give a pass, which
15-year-old Suleiman Ashaw is cutting the ball away. It was a brilliant opportunity there for South Africa. They'll have another one once again as they try to venture forward. 5 minutes left to play the first half. Can Libya turn the tide? Well, quickly losing the ball out here. Relentless play here from Bomibethu. Consistently finds his way on that flank. No player has played at all on the left flank.
Yeah.
It's all been one-way traffic.
Yeah.
Bomibethu, and once in a while, well, Tillings gets a chance to drop in. Through pass. The center of the park, a chance to advance here, but this one was unsighted. Martins not picking up anyone, and the ball just goes away. Kaidens Martins. Goalkeeper gets the game restarted. 14 years of age.
yeah. 14.
14
Wow.
with a footballing IQ of a 30-year-old.
Unbelievable. He's very, very small too. For a goalkeeper, you look at the size, but he's even smaller, and he's doing very, very well.
I think what he makes up, or what he doesn't have in size, he makes up for intelligence. He's been absolutely relentless. And there, once again, you see him trying to channel the rest of the players, trying to keep them in the mindset of the game.
It's amazing.
Absolute leader.
Yeah, he is.
Foul here. It's a free kick. Foul by Ali.
His anticipation has been wonderful. Has been so good. Yeah.
Well, quite agitated, and you would understand why. Just making sure he gets the right mark of his positioning, and it's the near post. And there was a foul in here. Foul as the play is on the ground, and it's a free kick. That's awarded here. Excellent call here by the referee, Mohamed Sanen. Won't count at all here for that earlier foul. 3 minutes left to play the first half. Turn around in here. Libya need to finally give themselves some breathing space. In football, one of those very unpredictable specters of life. It could be all one-way traffic, and it could turn on a dime.
Yeah, it is. It is one-way traffic, but again, the chances that comes their way must be, dealt with. They have to make sure they get a goal. I mean, for the first 20 minutes, they've played the entire game in their half, and they've not been able to score. They've created chances as well.
Captain once again onto the ball. Suleiman Ashaw tries to get it up front here to Mashoud. Able to get to the ball, and that's a foul, and it's free kick awarded to the way of the South Africans. 2 minutes left to play. Well, at this point, Charles, you begin to wonder, won't South Africa begin to get a little bit frustrated? They have dominated proceedings, but they have nothing to show for it as yet.
And that's the bad aspect of it. You know, you do everything you can in your capacity. You created chances, and they needed somebody, a clinical finisher, to come in there and finish some of the chances they created.
Throw in, set to come through, waved in. Control here by Rai, but loses possession, and that's hacked clear. Big clearance there, this time from Riyadh. Only as far as Hayden Boyson, who's barely had anything else to do except make clearances here. His partner at the back there, Omalay, shot 14, hasn't had much work, and here comes Hayden once again, looking to bomb forward. Looking for the 1-2, receives a brilliant setup here, tries to thread a through pass. In the end, a little too intricate, and Tillings finally has the beating of the defense, and the defense gets their work cut out. What a chance! Still not yet out of the woods, a shot from distance, and that's far and wide gone. But how was that for a real near scare? The first actual mistake that can be blamed on the goalkeeper.
Yeah, exactly.
Got this one wrong.
I was going to say that, yeah.
Went out, spilled the ball, nearly handing it to Tillings. Tillings, a little too confident, looking for the right opening. In the end, the window of opportunity shutting, slammed fast in his face. Well,
what a chance. No.
It's normally one of those characteristics for even the very best goalkeepers. Sometimes they can be eccentric. Well, this young man, he's made themselves very prominent at a very wrong spot. 20th minute, South Africa nil, Libya nil. Looking to tease his way in. Isham Tillings still holding on to the ball, tries to find the cross, and in the end, yields nothing. Should be a goal kick. In a second now, the referee should be bringing us to summary halt of the game.
When you play football like that, like the South Africans have played, and what matters most is to score goals, and you fail to do it, then there is a problem somewhere. And I am surprised the way they're playing. They've done everything they can to score. Maybe they're unlucky today, maybe, but it's to get a chance of that caliber to not make use of it is bad for a team.
Well, that's an interesting substitution. Anas Al-Ajid is the player that's brought on. He is a forward, taking the place of Riyad Amir, who was actually a midfielder here. Probably trying to press forward, get himself some firepower. There's a foul in here.
Should the Libyans get chances like the South Africans have, I'm sure they will score. They will make use of it. And that will be a big problem for South Africa.
Krema Sohaib earning himself a free kick here. This might be the final kick of the game. It's a long ball, attempting to get it up front. A very fast instance where we've had the goalkeeper, Lospa, having to come out and, well, have anything to do in the game. Must be his first touch.
Exactly. He's been free. I mean, his first half. Okay.
Referee Mohamed Sena sends the two teams to the dressing room, and it will be, well, this man that has had the biggest heroics of the matchup so far. 14 years of age, absolutely relentless, and right now the primary reason Libya are still within a shout of this particular game, save after save. For South Africa must be amply frustrating that they've had so many opportunities and have not been able to put full utilization to them.
Yes, indeed. I mean, South African have played all the game. They've done so well. In fact, they've played against the goalkeeper of the Libyans. he's the one who has defended very well. Of course, the two centre-backs have also done so well in terms of defending. But so far, they've not been able to construct passes into South Africans have.
Well, halftime, it is Libya nil, South Africa nil. Here's some of the highlights from the matchup earlier, and it's been a plethora of opportunities. Charles, you're the coach. We'll turn to you right now. What could have South Africa done better with the players at their disposal?
Just score goals. I mean, it's about scoring, and that's what matters most. In all this, you have to score. Like I said earlier on, they've played what you can demand from them, what you can ask of them to do. They've done it, just that they've not been clinical up front, and that has been and it can be frustrating sometimes when you don't score. The opponent gets a chance, just a chance, and score. You are then in trouble. The frustration becomes bigger.
4-3-3 formation here for Libya. Doesn't look like it's worked out at all. Where would you tweak this?
Nothing is helping. What they need to do now, South Africans are pressing very high, and so it's important to put the ball behind them. They are attacking, and they keep on giving the South Africans the chance to press on them. They are not doing so well. I hope the coach will let them understand that, and then so that they can put the ball behind them. They shouldn't be playing in their own half, in their own box, but rather take the ball into South Africans' half.
Well, we'll take a break as halftime is on the interval, but standing by on the pitch side is Chico, who will bring us the lowdown of what's happening in there and a bit of the tactical analysis after 10 minutes of play. It's halftime. Libya nil, South Africa nil.
All right, so there we go. It is halftime. Goalless. How this game is still goalless is absolutely beyond me. We have a bit of analyzing to do because South Africa have been absolutely dominant, but Libya seem to have come with a game plan knowing very well that the onus would be upon South Africa. Their game plan, sustain the pressure, hold it, hopefully get that counter-attack. Hasn't worked out the latter part of that plan, but it seems that their part, the first part, has come pretty well.
It has come pretty well, I think maybe mostly for Libya more than South Africa, because you're looking at the scoreline. It's respectable for Libya because it's 0-0. They haven't conceded, considering the number of shots and how South Africa has been attacking, especially on the left side. Your favorite player so far?
Yes,
Isham
absolutely.
Tilling. I think
Tilling.
he's really showing a lot of skill, but he's so one-footed that he is unable to create chances to score, obvious goal-scoring chances for himself.
Now it's been South Africa. It's been what Jermaine termed in commentary one-way traffic. And it seems like it could be that way in the second half unless something changes from Libya. But to be fair, we'll join in South Africa and enjoy what they've displayed for us. But when you look at Libya, would you say that it looked like this was their game plan?
I don't think this was their game plan, especially because they didn't really see and know how South Africa is going to field out and play. Probably they anticipated a very technical team and a lineup that is from South Africa, but you can see that they lack luster in a sense that technically they are beaten to it, physically they are beaten to it, even with the speed they are beaten to it. They are also wondering to themselves, how have we not considered a goal? I think it's all because of the goalkeeper, and he's the one that has been the difference so far in the score, that it is 0-0 right now, but their game plan of trying to catch South Africa on a counter, they don't have the numbers. They don't have the key players to be going to that space to make sure that they create those chances. Lospa has just been sitting, freely as a goalkeeper.
El Fautiri, the goalkeeper for Libya, possibly the only reason somehow at halftime we find ourselves goalless. What a performance from that young boy.
What a performance, really. You can see how he's piecing passes together. He gets to collect from the defensive midfielders to say, let's now start going forward. I think if you could take a bit more responsibility in saying that, can I take a shot at goal? Can I be able to say, can I be at the end of a cross that's coming in? Because he's creating a lot, but he's not aggressive enough and hungry enough to go into areas where he can score himself, because the chances are falling on Isham. But for him, I think he's the one that could really break that deadlock and score that goal.
Isham Tilling, man, if there was ever a opportunity from the heavens above, then that last chance towards the end of that first half, he came up with a brilliant opportunity. And I heard you say, as we were watching it, why in heaven's name did he try to switch to his favorite leg, his favorite foot? Talk us through what you saw.
I think the session, the next session for him, training, if anything, the coach should say, we bar your left foot from playing, only right foot needs to play. And but we can never take away the fact that he's only 15. These are young players that are still trying to establish themselves, find a niche to say, how do I balance both legs? I mean, if I take it to Lionel Messi, all along we've known him as a left footer all the way until recent ages, before he went moved from Barcelona even to PSG, where he was only using his left foot. But over time, with experience and training, he got to be using his right foot, even heading the ball. So I think for Isham as well, he's going to be looking at himself and saying, how can I improve? Maybe if the coach puts him on the right wing where he cuts into his favorite foot, then that could be something for him, because as he's going left, he keeps on going left, doesn't want to come to his right where he can actually score a goal.
I love that you pointed that out, because as you were speaking of Lionel Messi, I thought, wait, there are wingers who go on the opposite side. Ribéry kind of pops into mind, and then they cut in. Now, while you know exactly what they're going to do, it's kind of difficult to stop them. So that would be quite an interesting development if the coaches thought about that in the near future.
I think it would be something that they think about, because also if you look at on the other side, Msweli is also doing well as a winger on the right, because he gives that balance. Probably the coach wanted to see more wing play, because when you have an out-and-out left footer on the left side, it means you bring crosses in. But now chances are falling to his right foot, which means now the coach needs to look and see, can I just swap them? And we call them inverted wingers, because they're playing on a side where it's not dominant and fluid for them to play. That will give them a little bit more, because he can connect, he can make those through passes, and most importantly, he can take a shot because the goals are wide open for him.
Now, we must keep in mind, it is the Africa Schools Football Championship. Schools, these are under 15-year-olds playing some brilliant football, and it's easy to be carried away by South Africa. They've been dominant. But what would you like to see from Libya in the second half?
I think Libya, it's good they're absorbing the pressure. They must move a little bit away from their goalkeeper so that they're able to give him breathing space, and also minimize the distance of getting from their goals to the other goals, because that goal can come for them. And I know sometimes I can curse, give people a curse to say, South Africa, watch out, because Libya, if they get one goal, you won't be able to score. So for me, it would be Libya saying, let's be more aggressive in our counter-attack when we go forward, take shots from far and see, because the goalkeeper lost. out. And for South Africa, take those chances because we've seen teams that played previously, Guinea and Libya, they were able to score.
Is it the curse of the commentator? We'll find out. Second half is coming up. South Africa suddenly, somehow, still incapable of finding the back of the net against the Libya side that have been pretty much more defensive in their approach of play. Will they venture forward? Their forwards have been starved of that ball. That ball has been given in plenty for their goalkeeper, and he has done very well. But the second half could give us the surprises. We'll be letting you go back to the commentary team of Jermaine Agessa and, of course, the one and only CK Aknor, the coach, former coach of Black Stars.
Thank you, Lawi. And we're back here for the second half. Well, a chance now to make sure that it had nothing to do with the pitch. This time Libya should be able to have a fair go at South Africa. They've been having it handed right to them, but had very near scares where they've been still able to get away unscathed. Still 0-0, the current scoreline, and it's all to do. 4 points are up for grabs here.
I must say, Sarah, Libyans have been very, very lucky that they are not down by any goal. Now they need to work better than they've done. They've given South Africans a chance to press on them, maybe to move away from the goalkeeper and then put the ball always 1-2 behind those who are pressing. Then they can have a chance, because in the first half they've not been able even to cross the final third in terms of chances to score. South Africans have been wonderful. But just what is missing is how to score.
Well, clearly someone must have given the South Africans a hint that Freddie Mercury was born in Zanzibar, for they seem to have only one song on their mind: "We Will Rock You." And Libya need to have an answer for that right here. Second half set to get underway. Still waiting for any confirmations on whether there will be any changes in personnel. And then right after this particular match, the official opening ceremony of the CAF African Schools Football Championships will be underway. Second half underway. South Africa in the green. All green here, while red, black, and white trims there seems to be the favor of choice here for Libya. Still goalless, 20 minutes to play. Midfield, Libya get their captain onto that ball. Good play there coming in from Riyadh. It's there. And now nice pick up once again. Well, a little closer. This is the closest we've seen South Africa. I can authoritatively say fast back pass to the goalkeeper, Lospa. Involving a couple of other players in here. Kanani. Laying it all the way back here to Omale. Well, just toying at the moment. You need a little more aggression there from your striker. You can't afford to have the defender have the comfort to dispose of you at will. Hayden looking for support. It appears here. Kanani delivering through the center. Hayden seems to be playing a multifaceted role, carrying the ball from the defense to the midfield. From the back. Here comes a chance to break forward. Looking for a clean break. Could fancy a shot. Opts to pass the ball to the wing. Appeals for the offside. The ball just scampers away. South Africa are baying at the door, barking for it to open. For some moment, it just stays shut. Swelly.
That was a big chance. Big chance for them to. I mean, attempt was good, but you don't know whether he want to score or if he just passes. It makes it a bit difficult.
So Melize coming very close here with the latest attempt. South Africa at this point might have the biggest number of failed attempts here by players on the pitch. Almost every front player has had a fair go at the goal area, and still it holds tight.
I think it's a matter of time. They will have to score if it continues like that. Creating chances, at least 1, 2 goals must come.
Free kick. Long searching from Libya. Easy pick up here for the goalkeeper, Lospa.
It appears the Libyans have changed a bit of the way they are playing. They are no more too much defensive. They are coming out. But hopefully they will do it consistently.
Good touch here. Libya stringing together 3-4 passes here. And ultimately losing the ball in that midfield. And now South Africa will look to turn on the fire. And turn on the speed. Jordan Hope gets onto the ball. Jordan Hope with the shot. Missed opportunity once again. Well, he's been their reliable go-to man. Ryan Ferguson comes into this tournament with a huge pedigree on his shoulders, but for some reason, just can't find his shooting boots here in Zanzibar.
This is the second time he's missed such a wonderful chance, and he's not composed. Probably in the box, he has to be composed. He's not, and it's a problem. Chances like that, you have to make sure you kill it.
Should be able to tuck them away. Fortunately, just cannot. But well, might as well say better now than later on in his career. The 15-year-old.
Yeah.
Very fast exposure to international top-level football. This is at a continental level. Yeah. These youngsters who on any other day right now would probably be figuring out why yesterday's arithmetics homework was not done.
These are the hope for the future. We're looking forward to some of them to come out. No, I'm sure not all, but at least.
Well, good chance once again for Ferguson. Picks it up well. He tries to go for the snapshot. I'm not so sure he was quite aware of where he was. I think he thought he was closer to the box
when
than
you keep
he
on
was.
missing chances like that, you yourself, you sort of at that age you lose your confidence as well, and it's not too good for him.
4 minutes. The second half played. 16 still in store for us here. Can something come clutch here for South Africa? Will it be a tide that turns for Libya? To the midfield, looking to break forward once again at base, South Africa. Nice hold up, Kaiden Martins. Letting get back here, seeking support here. Kanani to the midfield, through pass here. Looking to spread it out, and a chance here. Right, Ferguson once again thwarted by the goalkeeper. Another fine save from Lual. A chance here, and looking to chip the ball in. Could be the opportunity, and finally having to travel all the way from the back line and break forward at pace. Kanani is the man that finally sets South Africa on the front foot. Well, look to the man at the back to take matters into his own hands when everybody else has come up short. And finally, the wall in Lual of Libya has been breached. It's South Africa 1, Libya 0.
Is this just a matter of time? They kept pushing, playing very well, controlling the game. Obviously, this is a goal from a midfielder from behind and entered into the box. Of course, that would be a surprise for the defender. It's always, when it happens like that, it's always very difficult to catch up. The defense, so a good goal.
Well, a very good combination there with the captain, Simama, to just chip that ball over the back line there. We were talking at halftime about how resilient these centre-backs have also been in helping out, especially second rebound clearances. This time, decided to totally alienate them and set the ball on the front foot here for Akanani.
When they put their eyes on players like Ferguson and others, when a midfielder, you don't know whether to go or to mark your man, and that is what happened. I think a very good run, deep run from.
A chance here, floating the ball into the final third. Simama skips past his marker, tries to clear the ball in, and now the floodgates are officially open. South Africa have finally found the way to breach this defense, and it's two in quick succession. Tristan Omale, one who has been at the back, also comes forward and picks himself some applause.
Because the defenders of the Libyans have the eyes on the strikers, and so I think there's a tactical play from the coach, where the midfielders are coming deeper, running deep for an opportunity to score. And that's what they've done in the two goals. One, the 8 is coming from the midfield, entered into the box. The same with the 14. And that is good. If they had relied on the strikers and attackers, it probably would be a problem.
Well, South Africa now making full use of the overload in the box area. Once again, brilliant play from the captain. Just looks up, picks his spot, puts it on a plate. Tristan Omale says, thank you very much. Pops it to the back of the net. It's South Africa 2 to the good. And Libya now staring down the barrel of a loaded gun.
this game was obvious. It was going to be difficult for Libya because in terms of controlling the game, they cannot control the game. South Africa were in control and has been in control. And
well, at this rate, they might have to figure out how to control damage. That should be a goal kick there. But 2, well, at the moment is quite the scoreline. Automatically, South Africa will, of course, be very happy with proceedings. But right there, again, confirmation. 6 shots on target for South Africa. None to talk about for Libya. 7 off target. That's a total of 13 shots. 75% possession. Someone might want to throw another ball for Libya.
it was definitely going to be difficult for the Libyans. They cannot. They were not able to come out. And what is amazing is that they're doing the same thing they were doing in the first half, passing the ball in their own half and allow the South Africans to press on them, which is not the best.
Might have a substitution coming up here. Joshua Nevelt, a player that might be brought on 14 years of age. Negative there for a defender in his stature, but I don't want to make the judgments now as Simama holds onto the ball, boxing that midfield expertly. Spreads the ball up onto the wing, a chance here for a cross, and they could fancy getting themselves another. Not too sure Ferguson intended for the ball to go that direction. South Africa prepping themselves up here for a double substitution, and it's all players forward. It's just the goalkeeper doing the sweeper role.
He's done a lot of work, especially in the first half. And if the pressure keeps coming, he cannot. I mean, he's just one person. The Libyans have not done so well in terms of attacking forward, going forward. They've not done well. Hey, we're talking about 40s, so we have to accept it. So developing
bit of mastery on the ball here for South Africa. And then Morrison looking to venture forward. That's a good pass out to front. A bit of indecision there from Jordan Hope.
That was a good one, a good pass.
Getting that working cross to the box area there. Brilliantly setting it up here for the player making his run on the outside. Libya standing their ground. This might be the moment that allows South Africa to make the switch, and it's one of the goal scorers that steps out. Comes out here, and youngster there, Joshua, that we did talk about earlier, is the one that comes on. The other that comes off is the striker, Jordan Hope. He's the one who exits the game. Be getting and there you go, official confirmation. Jordan Smith is the one that will take his place. Jordan off. Jordan. Nice hold-up play here from Libya. Trying to force the issue and get some leeway towards the goal area of South Africa. It's one that has been starved of performance. And if anything, by the touchline is anything to go by, it looks like we might have a substitution, and it's another goalkeeper set to be thrown on. That would be very interesting. To replace. Wow, in my book, this might concede twice and could be twice in the same instance. Still had a solid performance, but ultimately has had to give way. South Africa proving to be too strong, too clinical, too efficient, a machine to keep shut for a full 90 minutes. Or should we say a full 40 minutes of play. 2 assists to his name and a goal to the boot. It's been a spectacular performance from the goal that is from the captain Simama. And that's a substitution for South Africa. A chance for everybody to come and play.
Exactly. I mean, if you're leading 2-3-0, it gives you the ability to change and to try others who have not had a chance to play. And I think in the second half, South Africans were very smart. They made use of their midfielders and the defenders to attack into the open space. They occupied the space and went in and created chances for themselves. And I think it's been good for them.
Well, the substitution there, Aiden February is the man that gets onto the pitch, but later on, for those that will definitely fancy their picks here for who could turn out to be MVP of the tournament, again, might be too early to throw hats in the ring, but that's a very good display that has been so far put out there by the captain of South Africa, Simama. 2 assists and a goal to his name, and overall, some spectacular football from the youngster.
Definitely, most definitely. And the number 4 shirt as well. I've forgotten his name. He's also done so well.
Bobby Beth.
Yeah, he's also done very well. But they are very, very instrumental in terms of how they play, how they control the game. The captain and the 4 shirt has been very, very commanding in the game.
Offside it was. It's a free kick. There you go. Substitution, first choice goalkeeper Lospa Sabri taken off here for Aiden February. We get a couple of minutes under his belt. Talking about minutes, we're just down to the final 7. Wilson also taken off. Offside! Another defender there. Reese.
I wish Ferguson would get a chance to score, to get his confidence level, because he's been the scorer for the team and he's had clear chances to score. He's not been able to score. So I wish he gets a chance to score at least, because you can see the coach has not subbed him. He's done a lot of sub with the other guys, but he's the main person. So.
Colin Robinson fouling there, one of the substitutes, and Libya benefit with a free kick. Could be a chance here, but a little too timid in the end, allowing Aiden February to just pluck that out of the air. Looking vastly more experienced here, this South African team, playing more coherently and probably playing together.
But you know, let's be honest. I think the Libyans are not. South African were a little bit stronger than them, and we will test South Africa when they meet a team that is more structured, more organized than the Libyans.
Fine touch from Joshua. The substitute tries to flick the ball towards the final third. Simama there to pick up the pieces. Totally orchestrating everything that's midfield.
They are the main guys who control the game.
The game with absolute precision here. Kaiden Martins, Ganafi Simama, the captain, as well as the man that just went to the ground there, Bomi Bethu. Have actually been quite spectacular in their performance here. Looking to run down the clock, and that's frustration now. That definitely comes in from Libya. So it's a little bit frustrated here. Should be a substitution here that has been made. Waid Abu Shalah Shatati is the young man that is brought on. Out comes Mohamed Limba. We haven't really seen much of in this particular match.
We've only seen the goalkeeper. We've only seen the goalkeeper who has done so well.
There have been glimpses here of a couple of other players. Al Zubair, Al Madi has not tried to acquit himself as well as would have been expected. Ahmed Gada, another one who's trying to put in a decent shift here, but still finding himself a little short. The offside flag coming up here to catch a very eager Colin Robinson. That's the second time he's being caught offside after coming on as a sub.
It's more of attacking conscious maybe. But for the Libyans, I think this is a developing area, and so they shouldn't be worried. They can suppose we give them another chance again tomorrow against Libya. Definitely we'll see against South Africa, we'll see a different team. And so they should keep up and be encouraged to play.
Well, tomorrow they do have a matchup against another team that came up short today, Benin.
Okay.
It will be a good chance to assess where they stand, and if it was opening day jitters that got the better of them, as another offside here rings true against South Africa.
Same player.
Well, that might be something that whoever plays South Africa tomorrow might want to keep an eye out for. They tend to stray forward early if you can play offside trap right.
And also the pressing. I was so impressed the way they pressed in the first half. So making sure that, and of course they know, I think they only have 20 minutes, and so do what you can in these 20 minutes. Frustrate them, put pressure on them, and that is the style. You can see clearly in the second half, they are not doing the same as they did in the first half.
A foul there by Tristan Omale. It's a free kick to the captain, Sulaiman Ashaw. Well, might be a chance to cross, but if he fancies taking the shot from this distance, something right out of the top draw to get Libya right back in the game. Libya registering their first shot despite it being off target the entire match. Could clearly say the stats team have really not had much to do for Libya. All they have to do is just keep it as it was.
This is more very good midfielder for the what's the name again? The 4. Bethu. I show how the name stands. He's very instrumental in terms of defending, passing, going forward, and then of course he's always reaching the captain all the time, most of the time.
Bethu Mangaka had a formidable performance here today. They keep tight leash on this one. It's just a minute here, but South Africa might want to milk that for all it's worth, and a chance here hits the upright and the ball just whistles away. Joshua still in control, keeps the ball in play, still alive here, and Ferguson tries to finish something out here, still not going away. Tenacious play from that youngster. Shot 6 there, Joshua. Real live wire in there, but what a chance. Very close for Jordan Smith, who came on as a sub, just rattling the crossbar. Now they'll venture forward once again, trying to literally glide through the entire pitch there. Good carrying of the ball there. We didn't get to see from Tristan Omale.
It was a very, very good plan from the South Africans, because in the first half we saw the Libyans defending very, very, very well. And so to stretch them, open them, and then go through the middle was a very good tactical play.
Had that gone to the back of the net, it would be a hat-trick of assists for the skipper, Simama. He's been their real outlet, and that might be prudent to keep him covered.
Definitely.
Whipped in, player on the ground. The referee will bring this to a close, and for Libya, well, they'll have a bit of soul-searching that they have to go through. It's been a performance that they'll probably not be very quick to want to reflect on here. But a chance here once again for them to go ahead and reanalyze where it went all wrong for them. There'll be a lot of applause, and if anything, might not win points or might not win goals in this particular game, but a lot of fans will be won, especially for shot number 1, Lual, the goalkeeper, who was absolutely relentless here. South Africa, 3 to the good. 2 assists and a goal there for Simama. We also did have Tristan Omale getting himself on the score sheet, as they did run absolutely riot here against Libya and set themselves in a formidable starting spot. Full time, it is South Africa 3, Libya 0.
Yes. Good job, eh? And then you can have this ball.
Well, welcome back to Pitchside. What a great commentary. What a great second half. What a great game. Ultimately, South Africa took on Libya in that match, the second match right here on this Amman Stadium complex, the sports complex in Zanzibar. Man, we have been entertained by this young South African side, proving ultimately too big, too strong, too quick, and too clinical for the young Libyan side at the Africa Schools Football Championships. And I'm joined by by our two analysts who are also in commentary, Coach CK Akanor and, of course, Simpiwe, coach of the Under-17, former coach of Black Stars. Gentlemen and lady, that was quite the game. I'll start off with you. You were in commentary a lot. What did you make of it?
Well, I was impressed with the way the South African pressed from the beginning. And I was a little bit also disappointed how the Libyans allowed them to press. You know, sometimes when you see a team pressing like that, then you want to look behind them and play. But they kept on doing that and gave the South Africans the chance to attack. In the second half, South African proved in a different aspect of the game. They tried to push midfielders from the defense to attack, and it opened the game and it got goals.
We were looking at that first half, we were discussing it, and Coach, to be honest, South Africa looked rather wasteful, and you did have that lingering question as to whether or not they'll be made to rue their missed chances. Proved not to be the case.
Yeah, it proved not to be the case. I think technically and tactically they were superior. Also, when you speak to the physical part of things, it was difficult. That they didn't have a choice. They didn't have a choice because tactically and technically they were, bullied off the field, if I may put it that way, because centre back for Mali, when you look at him, he tried, that is Gada, he tried his shot, even on the left side, his left fullback also did try, but it was difficult for them because now they can't withstand the combinations from South Africa, the creativity that came. But in the first half, I think they did well for themselves, that is Libya, because they didn't really allow South Africa to score those goals. Because if they would have done that in the first half, it would have been difficult really for them to really come out of this game with not a lot of goals conceded.
All right, Coach, let's talk about in commentary that first half. What did you make of it? Missed chances. Did you see Libya standing any chance going into the second one?
No. If you look at the way they played in the first half, the South Africans were way ahead of them in terms of play, tactical play, the understanding of what they have to do at every given time. South Africans were ahead of them, and so you wonder how they will be able to come out to play in the second half. And of course, the South Africans didn't press as they did in the first half. The second half, they were more of a strategy where to find the space and attack, and that's what they did to win the game.
The goals came flowing in that second half. The first one coming from Akanani with quite a bit of an interesting lob because the centre half pairing of Libya proved very difficult to get through in terms of those one-touch football. It was just a beautiful little lob over them that caught them off foot.
I think it had to take innovation because all the players that were standing there, like a Ferguson who's standing there as a striker, already the centre backs are on top of him. So with the goal scorer coming that deep, it meant what? It meant that he's running off the ball, they can't get hold of him. Also because he's a fullback, he's coming from right back position, he overlaps, goes into that area and is able to track the ball and see that loop when it comes over. He's ready for it, and he didn't take too long in capitalizing when it came to that moment. So for me, it's that, that the players were coming from deep. And the second goal that came also came from a centre back that did the same thing. So for me, it was a game of defenders. The coach saying, the ones that are attacking, they are already looked at. Let's look at the ones that are behind. How can they come from, deeper to go into those areas, because it's difficult to track a player that's running at you than a player that's already standing with you.
Omole, the man who tapped from about 8 yards out, give or take a few, and that made it 2 for South Africa. Substitutions coming in galore. They changed their keeper at one point in the game. They just took complete control of this one.
Yeah, I think, but we have to also understand the Libyans played not too good, but we are in a developing stage, and so
absolutely,
it's not always about results. It's also about developing. Libyans, they didn't do well, but I believe if given the chance again, the next time they will want to improve, and we hope they will do that in the next coming games.
Interesting, Coach. CK Akanor says that because while we were watching, South Africa are leading 2-0, right? And then Coach Simpiwe says something peculiar, interesting, and leading towards the developmental side of the game. She says, at this point, I'm the coach, you challenge the players. 1-2 touches, 1-2 pass and move. That was very interesting, Coach.
Absolutely, because South Africa could see that Libya is a bit weaker in terms of tactically and physically. So what do? The next step is say, don't hold on to the ball. Let's play one touch, two touch, move, because now you are preparing for the next game. And also it says you are challenging them to move to the next goal, or maybe a tactical plan, if I may put it that way, because now you want to challenge them to say, instead of us holding to the ball, dribbling unnecessarily, because we struggled to score in the first goal. Now what do you say? Let everybody touch the ball. Let's now improve on our keeping possession skill and progressing going forward. Then you are challenging them. It's going to be interesting. Instead of you saying don't dribble, but you give them a challenge to go for.
That's good. You know, and also in the first half, we could clearly see they have their eyes, especially the centre backs, have their eyes on the attacking line. Ferguson, I learned he's one of the best scorers for South African, but he struggled till the end of the game, and hopefully he will make amends in the next game. But for the South African to run deep from the back, it got those who had their eyes on the centre backs confused. Should we go or should we leave them? And so it makes the game open for South Africa, and they got.
It's interesting you should say that, because again, we were constantly, as we were with you in the first one, in this second game, I was with Coach Simpiwe, and she pointed out something interesting. South African centre halves, who the defenders were the ones who scored, obviously, they were carrying the ball. She was of the opinion that Libya should allow them to carry the ball and then surprise press, take it, and you have pockets of space all over in the final third.
That is a fact, you know, and the way they were playing, like I said, again, the same name, Ferguson, is a scorer, but he struggled. He struggled a lot because the defender, especially the centre-back, had their eyes on him. And anytime he gets the chance, they are there to intercept it. And for the South African, of course, to open up and create that space where they were running to was a very good. Well, I give credit to the coach.
Coach Simpiwe, how do you deal with that? For Libya, that's a lesson, but is it a concern for the South African side in the development stage where they were almost getting carried away, so to speak?
Normally in a team, young teams especially, when you are good in attacking, defensively you might have a struggle. That becomes your weakness. So I think that's something that the centre-backs need to look at, because as soon as Boysen and O'Malley go forward, then it means that it becomes difficult to defend.
Well, it was difficult to defend for them, but we have yet another bit of entertainment coming your way. We have enjoyed 2 games, and now for the official opening ceremony at the Africa Schools Football Championships 2024 in Zanzibar.
Africa. Just give them space to start moving out more fast. Let's just stand on this.
Carry them global. Carry them global. Hamza.
Well, after a powerful opening is set, the stage is primed. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the CAF African Schools Football Championship. And what better way to get this one underway than to have the reigning defending champions, Tanzania, taking on Morocco, live here from the Aman Stadium in Zanzibar. Big, powerful performances expected from these two teams, and Tanzania, of course, will be the team home favorites, the hosts. Right now, they do have the task to surmount the team all the way from Morocco as they do prepare to get to the pitch to tussle it out. Very good morning here from the slightly overcast Zanzibar. Very, very cool and suave atmosphere here for football. As the lovely young ladies all the way from Tanzania in blue and black now take to the pitch to do battle here against fellow youngsters all the way from Morocco. It's all to play for here. Tanzania, of course, going on to win the inaugural tournament that was held out last year in South Africa. And oh my, well, will they be primed here to go ahead and put in a formidable show this time round? Quick shake of hands here as both teams get themselves aligned to get this one through. Second representative from the Sekafa region as earlier on. The first representatives, Kawempe Muslims from Uganda, that did win the Sekafa region, managing to hold out for a draw against South Africa. Now Tanzania will take to the pitch. Nusra Hamisi Jafari will be in that goal there. Elizabeth Chenge, Zuhuru Ugonja, Zainabu Karuka, Asha Omari, Janeth Malunga, Rehema Yala, of course, will be expected to put up the key performances up front in there. Of course, the captain, Zainabu Doto Karuka. Do remember, of course, this is the more interesting format of 7-a-side plus the goalkeeper, 20 minutes of each half as they play half pitch. And then a swap up in performances, and that's the squad that has been picked to start by Shime Nyundo Bakari, the head coach here of Tanzania, opting to have more attacking players here. That is 3 forwards, 1 midfielder, and 3 defenders here for the performance today. The opposite end, Morocco, will also have their work pretty much cut out here against the defending champions. No strangers to this stage of the continental showpiece. We're here and actually won it on foreign soil in South Africa in the last edition. Well, tonight, they are on more familiar turf. They'll definitely have the entire nation raging behind them as they'll look to kick off what would be an unprecedented, if they can make it count, well, title defense it is. Diame will be our center referee all the way from Senegal. Morosi Gondawe and Chabinga will be the other one that will be coming in from Angola here among the match officials, and must say also having progressively qualified to get to this stage. But let's quickly look at Morocco's squad, picked up here by coach Nadia Jalindi. Going on to favor the likes of El Marani and looking for Mase Hakimi. Lakini Idrissi is one that you'll be looking out for, as well as Salma in there to get the starting lineup there. Of course, main personnel in midfield, Malak Moman will be the one that will be looked at. And this is the head coach here for Tanzania. Quite a bit of pressure, especially that he will be expected to deliver once again from home. Jermaine Agessa here commentator as well, and I'm joined by the under-17 South Africa head coach, Piwe, who's having a very swell time this morning, enjoying game after game of the youngsters. I'm not so sure we anticipated it would be this much fun, to be honest.
Absolutely. And I must say, you're making it easy for me to just acclimatize and be a part of this magnificent moment of African Schools Football Championships 2024.
Oh, well, it's a brilliant one. And we are underway here in blue and black. The defending champions, Tanzania, looking to get the work cut out here pretty early. Nice spread out, looking for go forward. The offside flag was the call. Well, some major protests here from Coach Nadia. Doesn't seem all pleased there with the call there from the fourth official.
Now, someone might ask yourself, why is it 7 and a goalkeeper in the field and they are not playing a full field? With the women's game, trying to develop it, you want to make sure there's enough players on the field that can play and compete. And because it's under 15, they are playing in this type of field, smaller than the normal field that you would have seen in the previous matches for the boys. I think this is incredible because this is one way of really developing the game and making sure that girls are playing with confidence, they have enough time to play. And because also we are still behind in terms of physical attributes of the game, technically, as we are growing, you want to make sure that these girls get enough time to play on the field and have as much fun as possible. That's one of the reasons why we are playing in a field that is particularly smaller than the normal field you would have seen, that is 120 by 90 maximum.
Well, won't be only just fun on the agenda here, but there's also the more tactical vision of bridging that gap between the grassroots and the elite youth footballers. And something that you did highlight earlier on, saying a big step in a very good direction here for African football. They look to make the break, but there's an infringement here, and flag was already raised there. Good call there from the assistant referee. We'll have to keep an eye out here for this young lady here, Ramadani, continuously making those runs in forward. Ash Omari Ramadani. Chance here for Morocco. Good on the eye as they try to pass their ball forward. Quickly intercepted, cut out. Quick switch in possession. Excellent play. Just managing to get out of pressure point there. Able to retain possession well enough. Captain Zainabu Doto Karuka. Short, blocked. A little lightweight. Once again looking for the captain. Karuka to get a long ball forward to one of the attackers, and good goalkeeping there. And Amarani just coming off to clear her lines. 20 minutes it will be. Probably the calmest 3 minutes we have seen on this pitch so far. The other games have been starting off in a blinder.
I couldn't agree more with you, and I think it's also the demeanor of the girls as well. They take it one step at a time. They grow with the game. We said it with the previous matches with the boys. The boys just hit the ground running. Oof. And the girls are still trying to figure themselves out and see how can we play. They still figure out the opposition and things like that. Even the formations, one would say, is the formations when you see a 7-a-side plus 2 goalkeepers? Well, there is, because Morocco is choosing to play with 2 center-backs. Moman is there, El Halilal is also there. The 2 center-backs, and you can see that position-wise they know how to keep position, keep the structure of the team, and they have the 2 midfielders because you also want to keep possession as much as you can. Obela, the number 10, the captain, is on the left, and Mgu is on the right, number 11, and number 9, Bumedi, is the striker up top. There is formation. In a small-sided game, even when you play 4v4, there's a formation. Either you play with 1 defender, 2 in midfield, 1 up top, but there's always a formation that gives you structure and direction. Interesting
perspective that they do come up with as they look to match up with, well, what looks to be a sweeper role for the Tanzanians, opting to have just Remba sitting at the base of that defense. Lawa and Bakari will be flanking her Then up front, you have 3 midfielders following up behind Janeth, who will be looking to do the striking duties here. There's a long ball, flung out. Well, they also need to quickly acclimatize with the perimeter here. It's a smaller pitch, so long crosses will not quite cut it. And once again, the ball rolls into touch, and that's set to be thrown in. Captain here losing possession. Zainabu, or as she's more affectionately known by her teammates, Zai. Long ball, able to keep tabs with that. That will just roll out here.
And that's the element of the field. It's an artificial pitch. It means when the ball hits the ground, it skids and moves away quickly. It's not like the normal grass where it holds the ball and makes it easy for you to just get in touch with the ball. But this one, it runs. You let it go, it's gone. You're never going to catch it. So don't let the ball pass. Control it, play, and it becomes easier for you.
Well, not an exemplary throw. Ball just going over the line. A minute there had me holding my tongue when she made her run and abruptly stopped her, saying, "Oh, please, not a hamstring." Fortunately, it was something much simpler, just a shoe. Set to the wing. Quickly intercepted here, and a shot from distance, speculative. Nonetheless, they'll all count, and that's one on target. Fatima Tahir taking the first attempt in the game here. 6 minutes. And slowly getting into their groove here. Good control there from the skipper over Morocco. Obella is playing out on the wing, but I still find it hard to call it a wing, especially with the 7 aside. They all look like they're in the midfield.
Absolutely. And I think it makes you ask yourself, how does the coach prepare for these matches? And you must think that there's a lot of possession games that you have because the field is not as big, which means you need to keep the ball as quickly as possible. You need to find the space, find the pass, and the weight of the pass. If you pass it too hard, it goes out too quickly. It's not like in the normal field, like you say, oh, when you look up, it's already out. When you look out, it's already a goal kick. So I think as the tournament progresses, we'll probably see teams getting more comfortable and getting to keep possession even more, pass to each other. We see dribbles and all of that because there's no time for wing play that much.
Well, searching ball there. Once again from the skipper, Obella. Just cannot get it to anybody appropriate. This is another poor throw once again here from Zuhura Bakari Ngonja. Earlier on had a throw that looked a little misguided, just heading out, and Morocco returned the favor in equal measure.
And I'm sure Tanzania is asking, but Morocco threw that ball out. Well, it didn't go into the field, so it's supposed to be a Morocco ball again because if you throw the ball and it doesn't go into the field, you retake. But I guess the referee actually is agreeing with what I'm saying. It's a rethrow again for Morocco.
Well, there's going to be a very tall order here with the precedent that's been set by the officiation in this tournament. Top notch, top draw. I don't think I've seen a tournament of recent where you do not need VAR. This has been absolutely spot on. Now they'll try to venture forward once again. Now, try to keep the ball in play here. We'll try to get ourselves some space here. Janeth Medson, Matulanga, or the lead forward here for Tanzania. Morocco did manage to get themselves into a very, very comfortable spot in this game here by going on to, lack of a better word, obliterate Libya 12-0. We talked about that match earlier on. Their captain there, Mariam Obella, scoring 5 goals in that match. 8 in total in two matches. At the moment, doesn't seem to be catching any break as Tanzania do clear their lines. There was an offside flagging there. Referee now heeding to the assistant referee's flag, and that will be a free kick here for Tanzania.
And you speak about teams being able to score so many goals. Morocco has both boys and girls coming through into this tournament. And I think if you look at African football right now, when you speak to youth, Morocco is probably leading the way in how they've built structures and making sure that boys and girls get equal opportunities to go. And I think they've done well in qualifying for the under-17s and the 20s World Cups. And now you see them in the African school program. This is really, really, really incredible. I mean, during my time of playing, that's donkey years ago. I'm not that old, but you know what I mean. We never got to play such tournaments at this age. Some of us played in unstructured, unorganized football. Even at 13 and 14, we still played with the boys instead of having a team full of girls that can compete into such tournaments.
Well, there's a chance here for a break for Tanzania. Ooh, they might fumble this one, and they can't do much. Just like that, we have the tournament's first own goal. It's the nightmare of every player on the pitch. Unfortunately, Malak Magoat has it actually coming quite vivid for her here after 10 minutes. There'll be questions on whether the captain couldn't have kept that out. She looked a little slow, but in the end, well, they'll all count. And Tanzania, the defending champions, have themselves firmly in the lead. Well, arriving a second too late.
And as much as she's considered an own goal, it's for me the attitude of coming back to defend, because she was sprinting all the way from her wing, getting there. Unfortunately, she didn't position herself properly to be able to clear that ball. The effort that counts. But you know what they always say? I was a defender in my playing days. And when they say if you hit an own goal, you're at the right place at the right time, just wrong limb that you miss.
Oh, that's a nice one. That's a very nice one. The ball rolls out. Well, Tanzania now on the front foot. They're looking to go ahead and put in a formidable showing here. Tanzania, as they do have their work cut out tomorrow, they will have an early kickoff at exactly 8:30 a.m. as they take on Congo as our opening match for tomorrow's broadcast. Frustration, I could say, for Jeladi Nadia, head coach here for Morocco. The substitution after 11 minutes of play speaks more to tactics than anything else. There you go, quick change. Salma El Abassi is the player that does come on, and coming off, Fatima Tahir comes off there. We had a bit of a caution, Fatima Tahir earlier on. Questions are, has she been able to express herself as expected in that midfield? It looks like coach thinks her work rate probably was a little lower than expected.
I'm probably struggling with being a bit faster on the field because she's quite a big girl, taller, stronger. So this game probably needs for them to play a bit quicker, creativity. Probably that's why the coach said, no, let's rest you for now, bringing El Abassi, who probably is a bit more quicker and more skillful. You just saw her going in there with a sprint, trying to close down John on the field.
Trying to get onto the ball once again. Ooh, might have taken quite a bit out of the captain here over Tanzania, Zainabu. Karuka out to the wing, looking to venture forward. Good play here coming in. Ndalawa, who coincidentally has a very interesting name, John.
Yep. And I looked at it twice and I thought maybe it's the number that I'm getting wrong. Is it 1221? Is it John? And I realized it is John. And you know what I'm finding intriguing in this match also is that with these girls, with the game developing so much, you are seeing a left footer playing on the left foot, whereas you wouldn't see a lot of left-footed girls playing football, but you really find them here and they know how to kick with the ball, kick the ball with the left. You look at Zai also, she's left-footed, just waiting to see what she'll produce.
Well, thumps that one. Could have caused some problems had that been on target. It's a very well taken one. Must give her credit for just getting it up and getting it right back down at the right time. Good technique.
100%. You look at that, how she goes with the body, foot across the body and all of that. I'm looking at it and I'm saying, probably if only she leaned back a little bit to give it a bit of height, it would have even changed more direction, but the technique is really incredible.
Very nonchalant with her look after taking the free kick. It's just another day at the job. Seems to have bags of wisdom for the game. It's another thing that's been appropriately clear. Almost every player that has been named captain for the teams we have seen so far brings that extra X factor to the team. There's just something special about them, and you can clearly see there's a leader on the pitch.
It starts with you. When you appoint a captain in your team, you want a hard worker, you want somebody smart, because they become your second coach on the field. as young as they are leaders. Leaders are not just made, they are born. And if you are able to make an even greater leader that's been born, then you have a gem on your hands as a coach, because this is a person that will encourage your team, will win the change room for you. And exactly why we saw Morocco make that sub. It's simply because of this. They wanted more creativity, keeping the ball a bit more in that midfield area.
That was some good technique there on display by Salma. Ultimately, they lose the ball and a chance to venture forward. And once again, offside against Tanzania. Good attempt there once again to break the high line there. Asha Omari, Ramadani caught, well, straying offside. It's a free kick here for Morocco. Looking to get this one onto a clean break, but that will be easy pickings here for Tanzania's Nusra Hamisi Jafari. Big kick. In the ball forward. Good control now. Trying to use her body and shielding that away brilliantly. Good play there coming in from Janet Metson. Matulanga to the midfield. Salma. It's a bit of a kick. We'll carry on with the game there. It was actually Malak Laribi out to the wing. Morocco trying to venture. That should be a chance for a throw in here. Malak McGoat with a throw in. So far she's already taken 2 and they've all looked very pristine. Seems to have deadly unerring accuracy with her throws. Trying to get this one right at the foot of Malak Laribi. The ball is tucked away. Should be a corner.
Morocco is growing in leaps and bounds into this game. You can see that actually that change of Tahir and bringing in Salma Abbasi is really giving them something. It's the first corner we are seeing from them, and unlucky that it goes over the line into the goal kick, but you can see that they're gaining confidence. They're trying to keep the ball a lot more because Tanzania is proving a bit too strong for them in terms of their physical abilities.
Malak having the misfortune of having tucked that ball into her own backline, but is arguably one of those players that's all around the pitch. There's an offside here. And trying to press Tanzania within their own half. There are tiny pockets of space to be playing in. You have to time that absolutely right. Hilali gets the long shot in there. Doesn't target. That will definitely be one that counts. The instructions pretty clear now coming in from the technical bench of Tanzania. Keep the game calm. You're already in the lead. Popping the ball up front to try and chase this one down. Already haven't seen a lot of her in the first 17, 18 minutes of play. Isane, she's one of those that is sent to be their center forwards. Good reception of the ball. Looking to switch play right into the center of the park. Had to be cleared away. Wasn't exactly very pristine, but had to do. The ball rolls over the line. That's a throw in once again for Morocco.
You know, when you're defending, the first rule is that if you're playing as a defender, as a fullback, let the player run onto the line. It helps you. It becomes your support. So it's a 2v1. It's you and the line against the attacker. And I think that's one of the principles of defending, especially on the wing, to say push the attacker wide so that it becomes difficult. Make the space small as much as you can for her so that she doesn't succeed in her dribble. Rather let her pass the ball so that she doesn't go past you.
Start them of options. Oh, good chance here. Set back in. Searching ball. Bella tries to get it forward. Well, that might end up being a little nasty there to the goalkeeper, Nusra Hamisi Jafari. Not so sure there was any ill intent there. Just trying to get to the ball. Probably caught up in the heat of the moment there. Cross came in. Not so sure she had any two thoughts about where the ball was heading. Before she knew it, it's like her boot was colliding with the goalkeeper. It's probably clipping her. Should be good to go.
I think with the development of the game, you get to see more experienced goalkeepers, they would have caught the ball and moved out of the way of the striker, or even got their knee up to protect themselves. But she will learn. When she sees this clip, the goalkeeper coach will tell her, and the coach will tell her, next time, scoop it and move out of the way.
Well,
otherwise, you'll get that happening to you.
Many instances, you'll actually find the goalkeeper that's likely to hurt the defense.
100%, 100%. So they go with the knee. She's nice.
Well, they do have the lead, and they are fast approaching the halfway mark. They'll have to find a way to get back into this game. Goalkeeper back onto her feet. And that will be all the action that there is for the first half in the game. Tanzania taking the lead here. A very fortunate gift handed over to them by Malak Magoat as she turned the ball into her own net. Unerring precision here. But there's still more that will have to be played out here as the referee, Fatou Diane Demi, manages to send the two teams down to the tunnels where they'll have to go refresh, restructure, and get themselves ready for the second half. Halftime, it's Tanzania 1, Morocco 0.
All right, so we have it. Third game of the day. What a beautiful opening ceremony. I must point out, we didn't get a chance to communicate before this game in between the opening ceremony and the kickoff to the Tanzania up against Morocco game. But the opening ceremony, it's almost like a walk through Africa. And from that walk across the history, the rich history of Africa presented by CAF, then we get to watch the beginning of a journey in terms of football for both the nation of Tanzania and, of course, Morocco. I'll start off with you, Coach Simpiwe. It's been how can I say this? A balanced game between the two if you don't know about the scoreline.
Yeah, it's been a balanced game between the two. You can see technically Morocco is much better. They are a bit quicker, they are creative. And when it comes to Tanzania, they are a bit stronger and very athletic. So it means who can go through the wall of defense of Tanzania quicker, but in the same breath, Tanzania says you can come with your skill and creativity, but we are just making sure that we keep you abreast from our goalkeeper. And it's interesting, really.
All right, now I know we're working on the microphone. Sorry, I think your mic was off. I'll come to you. She's pointed out, Coach Simpiwe has actually pointed out that it's interesting that it's almost a contrast in play and ability. One strong and defensive, the other one quicker and defensive as well. How would you approach it if you are the coach of Morocco, looking at the fact that you have been slightly better over the course of play, as Coach Simpiwe says, yet trail?
Well, there's not much creativity in the game. They've not been able to express themselves, both sides. Morocco is slightly ahead, but they've conceded a goal. And so it's interesting how they'll come out in the second half. We've not seen much, but of course we're hoping for a better game in the second half.
Interesting analysis there, Coach, saying that lack of creativity. What would you put that down to?
I think the field.
Oh, really?
The field is a bit smaller for them. You can see every time they try to run, dribble with the ball, it goes off. So that tells you probably this is a group of players that are used to playing in a full field. With that also, it gives homework to the coaches to say, can we try and teach them to keep more possession? Short passes, quick, move, pass, move. Because small-sided game is part of the game. 7v7 plus goal. And you see this goal here. I mean, you could see even how they concede. They were trying to run, get in there. That's the athleticism I was talking about from Tanzania, to say they're able to play it down the line, bring that cross in, and that own goal happens. I said earlier in commentary that the reason why you get to score an own goal is because you're a defender at the right place at the right time, just using the incorrect part of your body to defend.
I think when they get to the final third, you see Tanzania being stronger a little bit, stretching them a little bit, but that is it, you know. And Morocco are more sort of more organized, you know, if I should put it that way, organized. But for me, I mean, you've not seen much as compared to what we've seen in the previous games.
Now, Coach Simpiwe says, you know, it could be down to the size of the pitch. Coach Akonor says, look, not much creativity. They don't have the space to run and dribble the ball. So how do you approach this as coaches? How do you then switch the players from the mentality of a wider pitch, a bigger place to play, to a smaller surface area? How does your game change, Simpiwe?
I think you just give instructions to say, as soon as you see a run, make that pass. As soon as you see the space, make that pass. If you can dribble quicker, do that. I think it's increasing the intensity. That's where you'll see more creativity. You'll see one-on-ones. You'll see players running off the ball. Otherwise, if they're just standing and trying to receive the ball, they'll always bump into each other. There won't be time and space on the ball because you are just standing. But if you are moving 2 meters off, lose the defenders and do that, it becomes easier.
The other thing they need to do, I'm sure this small-sided game, they've been training, they know. They should look at it from that perspective, where they are playing small-sided game, quick passing, movement, and then you create something. You know, without thinking, you want to create something. If you're passing the ball quickly in a small-sided game, which probably they've been doing it, it gives them the idea of creating space, moving forward, and attack.
It's a very balanced competition right here, especially with these two teams, one defending champions, another one Morocco, who have done a wondrous job when it comes to football, not just facilities for the men's game and clearly for the women's game. And now we're going a bit lower to the boys and the girls. Are you impressed with what you see from Morocco so far?
I am impressed with what I'm seeing from Morocco because technically, like I said, they are a bit more superior. And you saw with the coach making a sub, Tahir started as a midfielder there because they're playing with 2 midfielders, 2 centre-backs, and then the rest are populating on the wings. You can see Tahir coming off. That change, it means they wanted to play quicker. And it's because of the technical ability. They are not as well established. They're under 15 and they're still girls, which means this is a tournament where they should be at because it's a development tournament. And in our times, yours is worse than mine. But we never got to play in such structures where there's TV, you get to travel, you get to see these matches in such a facility, in such an event. And I think for them, we can only go up in terms of developing the game in Africa, especially for women's football, because we are a bit behind with the rest of the world.
Look, this is a very good initiative from CAF, and we all need to embrace it. It teaches everybody, not just field of play, off the field of play. A lot of things are happening, and therefore we have to be happy and get involved with this. It's a good thing.
It's a good thing. And as we've been telling you throughout from the beginning to this very moment, it is not just about the game. It is a wholesome approach to this Africa Schools program. Right now, we're focused on the Africa School Football Championship. But remember, the referees are young and they are being created. And now we go back to watch the actual game.
Well, thank you very much, Lawi, and the rest of the team down at Beachside as we get you back here for the second half, coming to you live from the new Amani Stadium, refurbished 2023, magnificent complex, giving us one of the most highly anticipated matches here in Zanzibar. It is Tanzania taking on Morocco. Morocco already back on the pitch and ready to get on with the business. They are trailing by a goal to nil. Goal to make up for here. Wise words there coming in from Charles AK and Simpiwe, who will be joining me just in a bit. Back here in the commentary booth, we'll be sharing more of the insight on what would be anticipated from these teams. But all in all, wholesome, quality entertainment and quite, well, the top-notch football that they do have, as inspection here being done by the officials, needless to add, who have also progressively managed to get their way here, as each member nation was allowed to pick 2 that they would second and have the referee's body keep a keen eye on them and see how their performance was, all the way from the nationals down to the zonal qualifiers, and now the cream de la cream are those that have managed to make their way right here to the continental showpiece. So outstanding performances that they have put in here. Second half gets underway. Well, not seeing any changes in personnel, and the scoreline still stands the same. Tanzania 1, Morocco 0. A bit of tagging here, and that will count as a free kick. That will be an early free kick here for Tanzania. Captain Zai Doto Karuka seem to have a lot of options here. Opts to take a fanciful shot, this time not on target, and that just whistles away harmlessly.
The technical coach that I am, I'm looking at her and saying, maybe go with your laces to drive it in, give it more height, and it will give you more power, or just combine, like your teammates have been coming short, to say, let's combine and then let Morocco come out of their defensive organization, and then we hit the space that is behind there. But so far, the game is not as fast as we anticipated. And another observation I saw was that it looks like the girls probably are used to playing in a full field, because every time they run, the ball is out, they are upset with themselves to say, oh, the field is ending here.
Cut shot.
Yeah, that's a positive. That's a positive, because it means the game is developing even better and better, and at a rapid pace.
Well, they'll definitely have to adapt, and well, also call for, well, not the school of philosophy that I tend to subscribe to, but there's been the tendency of the African thumps the ball clear. Well, they're not. They're not. Throw-in coming up here. Quality control here from young ladies on the pitch. Oof, okay, now that might have had quite a bit there. Captain, well, looks set to be able to carry on. Stern warning there from the official. Not so sure it was an intentional one. Also coming in from their captain, Obela. It's a free kick now, handed over to Tanzania.
And you're looking at this match and saying, in the whole tournament, the winners get to pocket $300,000 US. And that goes a long way for schools football, because with the Mutsipe Foundation partnering with the African Schools Football Championship, it means we put our money where our mouth is at, because development needs funding, needs money. And those projects will go a long way, because if Africa one day, and I'm saying Africa must win the World Cup, this is the way to do it. This is how we get to see such progress, because of these moments. That tackle from a real defender that's saying, not on my watch.
And once again, throws in another hard one. She seems to be really running out of steam and might need assistance from her teammates. Laribi, two very, very articulate tackles there. Now help coming in from Malak Moman. $300,000. That's just for the top prize. Another forced header here, puts the ball out. 200,000 in there for the runners-up, and 100,000 for the third place. I might say, not so many tournaments, if any, in Africa can match up to the same kitty at this level. Probably that's the biggest bounty that there has ever been put at an under-15 tournament.
Absolutely, absolutely, because there's a lot of aspects you look at for the growth of the game. The coaches that must be qualified, and you know, this tournament says it's not only football that is developed, but also the coaches, because as KFD licensed coaches on the ground, the least qualified should be at that. So it's not just developing the players on the field, but off the field as well. And that's the money that you are speaking about, because these schools, these players, when they go back to their countries, in their schools, they develop, they make it better. More programs come into place, more qualified coaches come into place as well.
Substitution. Looks like Malak Magoat has played her part in the game, and will step aside as Raje will now be brought on to play the next couple of minutes in this particular match. Raje Shafo is described as a defender. Definitely looks like a straight swap. Malak was a midfielder, so might look to tighten up up a bit at the back line. Almost applauded her technique for just keeping it in. That was within inches. Good attempt. Decent attempt there from Janet Medson Matulanga. Hasn't got a lot of the ball like she's used to. Well, today she has been literally feeding off scraps, and you might say Morocco will definitely have to get their flowers here for managing to stop Howe getting onto the ball.
I think it also speaks to the lineup that's there because Moman and El Hilal, it's the two center backs that are there, so they are making it difficult for her to receive on her own to create 1v1s. There's always that 2v1, and that's what you want to get. When you're defending, you want a 2v1 so that you have numbers behind the ball, and that's why it's difficult for Janeth to be really having a free flow. You can see when she moves from one center back, goes to the other one covers, it becomes really difficult, which means now Zai will need to come closer as quickly as possible so that it becomes a 2v2.
Well, there's a throw in here for Morocco. So trying to quickly get that game restarted here. You do realize it's a race against time for them. 5 minutes already played into the second half. Literally 15 left to play. Try to make sure that every single second counts. Talking about a holistic approach. Ooh, sublime skills there. Offsetting her well marker, managing to get herself into quite some space, and now the offside flag here coming out to catch Tanzania's Asha Omari Ramadani. Good play there from Oman earlier on. Just get herself into space, and you want to see that the confidence and the tactical nouns, and you know the whole idea of this is what footballing IQ should be. It's a good sight.
I'm excited to see what these girls are going to be bringing when they are 17, when they are 18, because if you are playing competitive football already at this age, because they are not 15 completely, some are 13, 14, so between those ages, and you already know what it means to play international football at school level. Now imagine if you get into the national teams, it becomes even greater.
Chance here to break away, and one of the substitutes that has actually been brought on, Malak Hajam El Idrisi. Well, she's known as one of the sprinters on the team, has bags of pace. Coming on with Mariam Alubani, some of the substitutes that have been instigated here by the referee. Sorry, that is by the coaches. The referee, they are keeping an eye on that incident. Just lets it go without flagging. Rajier tries to throw the through pass. Nice interception there from Alubani. Ball goes over the line here, set to be a throw in. Talking about the holistic approach, one of the things I'm looking forward to is the Young Reporters program. We have a couple of young reporters that are reporting about this particular tournament, and I'll be looking forward to seeing how they're doing out in there. It's just one of the numerous approaches. The young reporters, you do have the young medics, the referees, footballers themselves. It's just a full-on package. This is something that I might want to say 15, 10 years down the road, they'll look back and say that was the genesis of the whole renaissance of football.
Total development, not few aspects of it, total development. I have never heard or seen it anywhere in the world. It starts here in Africa. And we are intentional about how we are developing the game, and not just for women, but holistically.
Shot coming in, palmed away by the goalkeeper, but she's quite agile. The second helping does make sure that she keeps the scoreline pretty decent. Farah Mirani, to be honest, she also hasn't had a lot of work to do here. Her defense have been making sure that Lito gets past them and to her. That instance there looked like might be a bit of a tall order, but smothers the ball well enough. Goes over the line, it's a throw in. Tanzania are looking to really advance and press the advantage. And there's an offside here. Also actually a poor throw. Just confirmation there. Maybe one of the players that got to exit there in order to see the introduction of Mariam Alubani. Throw in. Asha Omari Ramadani gets the throw in. Nice pass. pass, getting themselves to the forward spell here, trying to flick it in. Tiny pocket of space in here. The offside flag will once again have Asha Omari just banning space, but for an instance there, she thought she would be out celebrating. Now that's an interesting substitution. Malak Idrisi having come off there. The other substitution that was made earlier on. The number of switches there, especially from Morocco, trying to reinforce, trying to make sure that every single player that could be an asset to the game is actually introduced into the fray.
And I'm looking at how Tanzania is gaining confidence in terms of passing the ball and building up from the back and all of that because of the number of changes that Morocco is making. It's taking away their fluidity, but Tanzania is finding spaces. They've gone offside twice, but you can see with how they are playing.
Well, clean break here. Can she actually fashion out an opportunity? Well, a footing being the stumbling block here. So often that you have to blame your own feet, but in that instance, Janet Metson just couldn't stay grounded enough.
She ended up with 2 left feet and fell. She has to remind her foot that, hey, brain is in charge and don't fall. Instead, stay on your feet as long as possible.
If it's any consolation, there are many of those. Look at a dance floor every now and then. And I speak not from experience.
I was about to say, are you telling me something? Are you trying to tell me something here?
Oh, goalkeeper putting herself in a bit of a spell of trouble there. Needed to get that cleared away much better. Opting to dance with the devil, nearly paid the price. Throw in for Morocco. They'll look to gain as much advantage as they can. That ball able to keep it in. Somehow just looking for that break there. Hajam El Idrisi Malak will be hoping that they can get the ball to her, and she has a clean break here against the goalkeeper. Hasn't been really fully tested, the goalkeeper, Nusra Hamisi Jafari.
And with that mistake that she just made now, you would wonder if they were to put a lot of pressure on her, how would she fare when it comes to that? Because half the time you know that when you have a good defense, either in goals you're not that great, or vice versa.
I wonder if they probably start to fancy a few speculative shots from distance and see if she's quite adept to the game. Chance here for a throw-in. Ramadani starts off the game. Just, good pressure applied here by Malak Oman. If anything, if they hadn't conceded, you would have said the technical play of the game, especially that backline, has a solid understanding of what is expected of them. They've been almost impregnable.
Absolutely. It speaks to their organization in defense and in attack. You can see there's positional discipline. You don't find anybody running everywhere. I think, like you say, if the...
They've got a break here, but looks like they might actually catch one as Ubela tries to cross the ball there. Probably one of their best breakaways in there. Might fancy a few more of those. You can really see some of their players, the likes of Malak, Hajem, El Idrisi, are raring to go if an opportunity presents itself.
I just feel like she can give us more, Ubela. She can give us more, but she doesn't get enough of that ball. Maybe as a left winger, imagine if she were to play as an attacking midfielder, but then the question sits to say, can she play as an attacking midfielder, or they want her there to bring in those crosses, because you can see every time she attacks, there's something that comes out of her side on the left side.
The defense will now try to keep popping the balls more into that side, hoping that they can get her onto the ball. Well, there's a drizzle currently ongoing here in Zanzibar. Question is, how will that play into the game? For those that do love a few occasional sliding challenges, well, you might be in for a bit of a delight. Hacked clear. No player up front here for Zanzibar. Tanzania. And now Morocco will look to get themselves onto the front foot, and this is the moment she's been looking for. Idrisi tries to cut the ball back, a little flimsy. Didn't have a lot of space to run into. It's one of those that really fancies a good run. Well held off here. And now it's the defense of Tanzania that will be tested. Rehema Joseph Mayala gets the ball in, headed away. Chance here, looking to fancy the shot there.
You could see with how she was slanting. She's just saying, if I could get my foot on the ball. It was probably going to end up in the grandstand on the other side. She's a defender. She packs a massive shot, I'm sure.
Yeah, with the throw. Morocco tend to pass the ball backwards, but in the end, it's come up a little short. So another throw in. Rajia popped out again. Tanzania playing it safe. 5 minutes left to play. Looking to hang on at the moment, but you could say momentum beginning to swiftly shift in the direction of well, the team. Morocco making an interesting substitution there as Mama Kipisi coming off. Corner kick. Decent attempt there from distance.
That's the shot I was talking about. She can really pack something.
Looks like she really had to tip that away. Seems to have just gone over the line. Goalkeeper made a save, actually. Did manage to just tip that away. In the end, this corner kick not really coming in their favor. For the moment, the referee seeming to have quite a lot of her work cut out, especially with more rhythmic trills of her whistle.
You can see Morocco is playing a high line a bit. Tanzania has found themselves offside pretty rapidly in the game, and that's why you get to see Moman being able to take shots like that, because now they are pushing a bit more forward. Probably the coach is saying, we've got nothing to lose. We already have conceded 1 goal, so let's push forward and try to take more shots at goal. 37 minutes gone, so what more do you need from a team than to just go forward and take as much as they can?
Throw in. Rajia gets the ball on. Cleared here and cleared hard. It just goes over the line here. One more attempt. It looks like this may be one of those games that may have to settle for a 1-0 scoreline. Would be the smallest scoreline we've had in the 3 games. But you just might want to keep your fingers crossed. So a very different atmosphere with our first game, where all of a sudden we turned on the head in the very final moments. Free kick for Tanzania.
And you might ask if is it also because of the size of the pitch that it's not as open, not as big, that you're not seeing so many goals scored. But again, in small-sided games, there's more opportunities to score because the goals are closer.
Ramadani Asha tried to keep that low, but just couldn't get to target. A little wild in how it swung out there. I think she might have needed a bit of more of body composure to keep herself in check in there. But a good idea, nonetheless. And you saw her having a very mischievous glance back at the technical bench just before she took that shot.
I think the other thing we should mention about this 7-a-side plus 2 goalkeepers is that you get rolling subs. Malaki came on as a sub, she's off, and Mumedi, who started in as a top striker for Morocco, is back on the field. So at least when you feel you are tired, you've had enough, 10 minutes, rolling subs, rollouts, let me roll in.
It's one of those moments whereby you can actually plan the game even better. Start off in a certain technical structure, and then get back in as another substitution is made here. Quick save. Well, the latest to get into the fray is Priska Isaiah. If you're not familiar, might be caught a little flat-footed here, but that's good technical defense from the new entrant, Priska. Gets a throw forward. Looking to break here. Tanzania at the moment will be looking to keep it pretty tight. They are seconds away from the final whistle. Just nudging that out once again. Morocco gaining gaining territory, gaining space, just inching closer and closer
The
to the
coach
final
has become the
third.
ball retriever to say, let's go, keep going, keep going.
Oh, she's really into the game here. Needs to see more. And that's not a good throw. I think the flag there already catching her short for having had her toes just tipping in. Coach Nadia a bit frustrated with the proceedings here, and it's frustrations that will end for the game. Quick applause here. Girls looking a little downcast that they had to concede the first game and had to be right on, well, terms that probably they would not have fancied at all. An own goal it was. Malak McGoat putting the ball to the back of the net. And very happy sights here from the youngsters, born competitors, and Malak there. The unfortunate person here that put the ball into the back of the net, quite distraught that they couldn't do better to get the edge over Tanzania. For Tanzania, a good start here to the tournament and a good start to their defensive title reign here. It will be all to do as they will have to definitely put in a stronger shift. Sad faces, but nonetheless, it will be celebration of the beautiful game as the CAF African Schools Football Championship will continue. But here it is full time, and it's Tanzania 1, Morocco 0.
All right, so it's been historically, you know that Zanzibar is a rather hot place, but it's been very generous in terms of the weather for the girls and boys who are playing today. And we've just finished our third match of the day. Plenty more coming tomorrow, don't worry about that. But for today, I think we've wrapped up with what has proven to be a very interesting yet difficult and tight affair, one in which an own goal has separated the two teams on the balance of play. Are you satisfied with that result? I'm joined by Akanor coach CK Aknor and, of course, Simpiwe Khulu, the coach of the under-17 team in South Africa, who are about to on the 40 minutes of play we've watched. I'll start off with you, Simpiwe.
I think it was a great match of of football, and I think a lot of elements you are seeing that the girls are not playing beehive football anymore. It's structured, it's organized. And I think Manmoun, for me, has been really great at the back for Morocco, composure and all of that. She wears jersey number 5. She's been incredible. Even the goalkeeper, for me, she might have considered that goal from an own goal from Megut, because Megut came through, trying to defend, and she scores that own goal, but she was tracking back. And I think Morocco tried to say, technically we are good, we are able to play, let's go to Tanzania, but it proved too strong in terms of defending. So that's why this game really ends with a 1-0 instead of the creativity that you were crying for in the first half.
Yeah, it looks a little bit better in the second half. Came into the game, they were eager to equalize, tried as much as they can. But I agree, the defense of the Moroccans were very, very organized. They were composed in terms of, any difficult moment, they were able to come out of it, and that was a good one to see.
All right, so we have had quite an interesting one. We'll be running you through some of those highlights of these particular matches. Saw the defending champions Tanzania take on a team that is growing ever so quickly and efficiently in Africa in both the men and women's football. Morocco. Looking ahead, Coach Simpiwe, Morocco will probably feel slightly hard done by. A bit of a fortuitous result for Tanzania, to be fair, an own goal. What do you tell your players in there, considering their age and the tournament just at the beginning?
I think when you speak to long-term athlete development, there are stages in there, training to train, training to compete, training to win. At this age, yes, it's training to win, because as a prize money, there's $300,000 US at stake. But when you look at it, you want to see the game develop genetically, also organically. And I'm saying genetically because when you speak to genes, you speak to the origin. When things are done properly, nothing is tailored. So I think Morocco, you look at them and say to them, look at the positives. You were keeping the ball, you took shots at goal. I saw a defender taking a shot at goal, and just unlucky that you considered a goal. But also the positive in conceding that goal, we were running back. As much as Tanzania was able to score from that, but there were a lot of positives that Morocco needs to take and say, in the next match, play a bit quicker. Don't wait until the second half for you to take the game to the opponents, but do it from the onset and it becomes easy. They use their rolling subs really well, and I think just time wasn't on their side, really, when you think about this game for them.
That's true. To complete it, I mean, in this area of the game, it's more about development, and so you need to be things they will do which can frustrate you as a coach, and so it's a father figure, how to lead them, talk to them, improve their skill and everything. And so it's good. A team like Libya performed poorly. I mean, but for a coach, you need to be patient, talk to them, encourage them, and bring them up again, because from this age group, before they turn into professional players, is very crucial, and that the coaches need to do a lot of work.
Luckily, CAF has ensured that we have quality licensed coaches, ensuring that as the foundation is being laid and the structure of football in Africa is being brought up, it is to the best for the players. And that includes making sure that the officials who are of their age and will be in charge of those matches in the future are also being brought up slowly by slowly, being given the skills and experience. And how would you rate their performance, Coach?
Very good, fantastic. I mean, we've seen a couple of games. I saw Guinea. I was impressed with the way they played. South Africa, the way they press. This is elite football. I mean, and so we have to give credit to the coaches. But again, when it goes bad, the coaches, that's when we...
we get the smoke. We get the smoke for a fire we didn't burn. But we're always burning that fire. And I think also it's for the coaches to understand that this is a development stage of it, So the more they play, the more... The game is the best teacher. So you can try and scream on the touchline, give the best tactics. We give 100% information and tactics and all of that. But the players take 1% of what you tell them. The 99 is for them, if you're lucky, also, because they can take 100%, throw it out and say, guys, let's do what we think is best.
What you think is best. I love when I hear coaches trying to, buy themselves a bit of leeway and understanding from you and I, but when they're on the touchline, we're going to be absolutely ruthless. It takes a lot, though, to execute that patience, because the tagline, the words are engage, encourage, and educate. That is the essence of CAF, and having proper coaches can only add to that. but patience is absolutely key. I know she's dealt with them. Have you ever dealt with an age group of a certain
I'm more
extent?
of a little aggressive. But I have. At the moment, I'm a technical director in a small club when we are developing young ones coming up, and it's very, very good. And so, yes, it's demanded that coaches are patient in this area of our game. To develop young ones, you've got to be patient. Sometimes allow them to have the fun.
All the time.
You know,
Fundamentals, fun with big letters.
Yeah,
and I love what coach is saying also, because when he speaks about having the best coaches down there, it's a D license that is a minimum requirement. And over the years, we'll get to see the most qualified coaches on the ground, because that's where you want the best, creating that foundation, quality foundation down there. And over time, even the remuneration will be better for the coaches down there, the most qualified being down there. And because then you know that you've developed quality players from the ground up, then the coaches that will catch them later on in their lives, it becomes easy. The game is just swifter and has more quality.
If I were to ask you from day one what you make of the competition so far, what are the key things you've picked up from either officiating, coaching, or on the field of play?
You see, when you talk about development, most of the time we focus our eyes on the ground, on the field, players. But there's a lot goes around behind the scene, and so for me, I see referees, which Ghana, for instance, have started that initiative where we are promoting young ones to come up and have the courage. It's good, but that is seriously working on that. Also think that not just coaches must be educated. Coaches must have the opportunity to learn more, you know, because we talk of now the D licenses. It's not enough. You know, there are more things. I mean, more comes before the coaching. For instance, the coach must also be like a father figure. You know, in terms of you see a young one coming up, and it comes with a lot of problems. They all come from various homes, and so we must do more than the coaching.
Coach Silvio, finally, your thoughts?
I think it's really incredible to see what Africa is doing, and Kef and Dr. Mutsepe, because young reporters program, medical young, and it's young, it's not older, because reporters are always older. The game, we know it's obvious, but young reporters, young medical practitioners, young referees, administrators, for me, that is incredible. It's one of its kind. I've never heard it anywhere in the world, but in Africa. So football is pretty obvious for me, but those elements of the game, and last but not least, coming here knowing that you're going to win $300,000 US.
As encouragement.
It doesn't happen a lot.
300,000 USD for the winners, 200 for the second place teams, and 150,000 for the third place teams. The thoughts of Coach CK Akonor and of course Coach Simpiwe. I don't have to think, I just have to see, and what I saw today were 7 beautiful goals. Benin and Guinea playing out to a 2-1 win for Guinea. Benin finding hard in that particular game. They'll face South Africa, who came across as victorious and dominant over Libya, 3-0 in that one, and then this fortuitous win for Tanzania with an own goal from none other than Morocco, who showed that they are a force to reckon with in this championship, giving us that 7th goal of the day. Those were your live games. We will be back right here tomorrow, same time, to enjoy even more of what the future holds. You are experiencing what we are, started in Mozambique by the president of CAF, Dr. Motsepe, and growing ever so rapidly. It is the African Schools Football Championships. We'll see you tomorrow.